Hello.
Hello. Hello.
हॅलो, आवाज येतोय?
हा, गुड मॉर्निंग सर. आवाज येतोय.
तपस्वी सर नमस्कार. तपस्वी सर.
हा, नमस्कार. नमस्कार
सर नमस्कार. थोडा व्हिडिओ चालू करा सर, जरा बघूया चेहरा. खूप दिवसानंतर बघतोय चेहरा तुमचा.
हा.
तपस्वी सर, व्हेरी गुड मॉर्निंग.
नमस्कार.
गोव्यामध्ये सर पाऊस आहे का?
संग्राम, टेस्ट युअर ऑडिओ. संग्राम,
गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
गुड मॉर्निंग.
नमस्कार.
थोडा सर लिंक पाठवा की YouTube.
हा सर, जस्ट 1 मिनिट.
हॅलो.
मगा असे जातो.
नोट पण केलेलं आहे. शेअर लिंक असं म्हणायला.
हॅलो. बिलावर सर.
हा बोला सर.
युट्यूब लाईव्ह लिंक आता BBKKRC ऑफिसर्स ग्रुपला दिली आहे बघा.
तिकडे टेलिग्राम टाकायला लागेल ना?
हा, टेलिग्रामला पण पाठवतो तुम्ही लगेच.
पाटील सर आवाज नाही आपला. पाटील सर.
Foundation Day of Department of Library and Information Science and Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, we organize this national webinar. This program is also celebration as a part of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav. Participant, kindly note that this national webinar is live streamed on the YouTube channel, so all are requested to join on this channel. The link is provided on the Telegram channel. I request Dr. D.B. Sutar sir, in charge director, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, and program convener to make introduction of the program. Over to Dr. D.B. Sutar sir.
Good morning to one and all. It gives me really immense pleasure to welcome Honorable Chief Guest of today's program, Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. P.S. Patil sir, today's eminent resource persons, Dr. Murari Tapasvi sir and Dr. Mahendra Jadhav sir. I also welcome all the participants, including professors, college librarians, research students, attending this national webinar on Research and Publication Ethics, which has been arranged on the occasion of 59th Foundation Day of Department of Library and Information Science and Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center. We all are also celebrating 75th year of Independence Day of India, or Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav, which is an upcoming event in which the 75th year of independence of India to be celebrated in India on 15th August 2022. So this national webinar is also one of the parts of the celebration of Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav by Shivaji University, Kolhapur. It is also a great matter of pleasure for me to mention here that more than 418 participants from almost all the states of the India, they are attending this national webinar. And that's why I feel that in real sense, it is a national webinar, that the theme is a very recent one, that our university authorities have accepted and granted approval to the syllabi of MPhil and PhD pre-registration coursework. So the students who are going to register for the MPhil and PhD, so before appearing for the examination, they are expected to complete the pre-registration coursework, wherein the views related with the research will be widened among them, because after post-graduation, if they are pursuing the PhD, many of them are not well aware with all the aspects of how to carry out the research. That's why in this pre-registration coursework, which has been designed by the UGC, that has been adopted by the Shivaji University and is expected to be implemented from June 2020 onwards. And accordingly, they have also provided the structure and syllabus for all faculty, which is common in nature. So this syllabus is common to all the disciplines, and that's why this course is meant for creating awareness about the publication ethics and publication misconducts, which is of interdisciplinary nature. So keeping in mind the units of the syllabi and its multidisciplinary nature, I am quite happy that the theme of this national webinar is going to prove to be very useful as well as very comprehensive, that will touch all the important and various aspects of the philosophy of ethics, publication ethics, research integrity, research misconduct, and consideration of the criteria for publication of research articles in the peer-reviewed journal. Because once when the students have registered themselves for the PhD course, it is expected that at least they shall present 2 research papers in the international or national level conference, as well as at least 1 paper has to be published in any peer-reviewed journal in their respective subject of specialization. So in that way, the second research person is going to deliver a lecture on what will be the criteria for publication of your research article in the peer-reviewed journal. So even at PG and research level, in many of the subjects, this is considered to be an important topic, which is very much useful to all the researchers. So as far as these research ethics are involved, actually the application of the fundamental ethical principles to a variety of topics involving scientific research is considered. So these include the design and implementation of research involving academic scandal, then including scientific misconduct, which may involve fabrication of the data and plagiarism. And as the researcher, everyone is well known with the act that has been recently published, which is related with plagiarism. So academic integrity has to be followed, and it is expected that whenever you are going to submit your research project, your similarity score must be less than 10%. Otherwise, there are penalties related with that, not only to the research students, but also to the research guides. So keeping in mind all these aspects, whatever the theme that we have chosen today is very important, I think. And all these aspects are going to be covered by eminent resource person today in this national webinar. So one more thing I would like to inform you that today is a meeting of Management Council, and even in this busy schedule, Honorable Vice Chancellor and Pro-Vice Chancellor, they have given their time for us. And without taking much more time, once again, I welcome all of you for your active involvement in this national webinar. So I further kindly request all the participants to subscribe to the Shiv Varta channel of our university, where the live streaming of this national webinar is going to be made. So to keep yourself acquainted with all the events of the Shivaji University, please subscribe to Shiv Varta channel, because the live streaming that is being made available on YouTube channel of our university will certainly help you to go through the contents of the program as and when you need. So even after completion of the program, the contents will be available to you. So don't forget to subscribe to our Shiv Varta channel. And once again, I thank you all And now it's over to Mr. Sangram Killedar, who is anchoring this program for the first time as the BAD research firm. So over to Sangram Killedar.
Thank you, Sutar sir. Now I request Dr. S.B. Patil sir, in charge head, Department of Library and Information Science and program convener, to introduce the chief guest of our program, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir. Over to Patil sir.
Good morning to one and all. It's my honor to introduce the chief guest of this webinar, Honorable Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir, the Vice Chancellor of our university. He is multidimensional personality. He has around 30 years of teaching and 33 years of research experience. Prior to joining as Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University Kolhapur, he also worked as Pro Vice Chancellor of Shivaji University Kolhapur. He is also worked as officiating registrar of Shivaji University Kolhapur, the institutional coordinator of RUSA, coordinator of University Industry Interaction Cell, coordinator of UGC SAP, coordinator of Innovative Program, and so on. If we see the profile of Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, it's full of academic and research achievements, positions, and milestones. So as this webinar is on research, just I highlight one thing from his profile. So recently in year 2021, AD Scientific Index has declared ranking of top scientists in the world, and sir's name is included in that list. So that is a great achievement. For this webinar, we also have another great and multidimensional personality, that is our Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. P.S. Patil sir. He is also a dynamic academician, scientist, and administrator. He is a well-known scientist in physics. According to Stanford University study and ranking, he is a top scientist. His name is included in 2% scientist in the world in material science. Both of our VC and Pro Vice Chancellor sir are our guiding lamps. Under their dynamic leadership, our university is achieving different milestones and marching towards the excellence. So we are very fortunate and really privileged for your presence. Thank you. Over to Sangram.
Thank you, Patil sir, for introducing the chief guest of the program. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke sir, to guide us as a chief guest. We are eager to listen to your thought-provoking address.
I think Professor P.S. Patil would first talk and then.
Now I request Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. P.S. Patil sir, to guide us.
Hello, good morning, everyone. The president of today's function, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor D.T. Shirke sir, the eminent resource persons, Dr. Tapasvi and Dr. Mahendra Jadhav, the conveners of this conference, Dr. Dhananjay Sutar, Dr. Sachin Patil, all the faculty members of Department of Library and Information Science, and my dear participant friends. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to be here on the occasion of inaugural function of the one-day national webinar on research and publication ethics organized by Department of Library and Information Sciences, Shivaji University Kolhapur, on the eve of 59th Foundation Day. So first of all, at the onset, I would like to congratulate the entire faculty members of the Department of Library and Information Sciences, Shivaji University Kolhapur, for carrying out several academic activities in the department, Shivaji University campus, for the betterment of all the librarians and all the teachers and faculty members in the jurisdiction of Shivaji University Kolhapur. Our library is one of the best library in the state, and we have several e-books, e-journals, as well as hard copies. We also have very good archive sales, and several visitors visit, and they visit for the study and for the research work. And therefore, I would like to congratulate all of them once again. As far as this particular webinar is concerned, this is on the research and publication ethics. This topic is very, very important because as we know, our university is the best university, one of the best universities in the country as far as research is concerned. And therefore, I think research and publication ethics, this particular topic of today's webinar is very important for our teachers and the students. As we know, we are also celebrating 75 years of independence in our country, and which is called as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Concomitantly, we are also celebrating the 60th year of establishment of our university, that is Shivaji University's Hirak Mahotsav. So on these joint occasions, we are now conducting this particular seminar, and therefore it has got certain importance. Under the Hirak Mahotsav activities, we have planned several activities, academic activities, social activities, sports activities, and several other activities. And definitely this particular webinar will also be counted under the activity of Shivaji University's Hirak Mahotsav celebration activity. As far as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav is concerned, it is, one of the main mandate of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, that is India at 75, is to become Atmanirbhar. How to become independent. Atmanirbhar India is one of the mandate on the occasion of 75 years of independence. However, if we look into the details of our progress, then we will see that our country is still a developing country. And therefore, at the occasion of 75 years of celebration of our country, it is necessary for us to think and ponder upon the fact that how to jump from the domain of developing countries into the domain of developed countries. So domain of developed countries is very, very, I can say, is not difficult, but we should all come together, form a very nice teams, and then we should build our nation. And the building of the nation can be done through the knowledge and through the creation of new knowledge. Creation of new knowledge is very, very important. And whenever we need to create the knowledge, we need to be aware of this publication and research ethics. And these ethics are very, very important. And therefore, we should be free from all such activities who will, which will defeat the very purpose of the research and publication ethics. And therefore, each and every students, each and every faculty members, they should be well aware of research and publication ethics. What are the good ethics? How to conduct the research? What are the codes of conducts? And what are the legalities in the conducting the research is also very, very important. And therefore, when we target to become independent and developed nation, think about these particular things. Another important aspect of becoming developed nation is to strengthen our economy. So economy is very, very important. Socio-economy is very important. And therefore, in that particular aspect also, the research can be capitalized and you can also commercialize the patents. And from that particular aspect, you can strengthen the economy of the nation. And these patents, publication, patent granting also has a domain of research and publication ethics. How to publish the patents, how to be free from the plagiarism and other things are very, very important. Considering the importance of publication and research ethics, the University Grants Commission has also launched the consortium, which is called as the CARE, UGC CARE, Consortium for Academic and Research Ethics. And there are some journals which are listed by the UGC. And if you have to publish your papers into those journals, because those journals are to be supposed, those journals are supposed to be very good, high quality journals, and they do not accept any plagiarism and other things. They follow all the code of conducts, they follow all the ethics. Ethical practices are very, very important. For example, if we submit the paper has to be reviewed by the reviewers, and certain comments can be given to the teacher who has submitted the paper, and according to those comments, he has to modify modify the paper and resubmit the paper to the journal. And all such steps are there, as we know, we all know, and we all follow all these procedures. But the journal should also follow all these procedures, and then only that journal can be called as a high quality journal. And if we talk about high quality journals, there are many other credentials which are very, very important. There are many matrices, the journals which are very, very important. One of the important metrics of the journal which can indicate that journal quality of the journal, whether it is high quality or low quality or not at all. So these impact factors are very, very important. Impact factor is one of the factors which indicates the quality of the journal. Higher the impact factor, more better will be the quality of the journals. And therefore, you can see there are some international publishers like Nature, Science, American Chemical Society, Royal Society of Chemistry, Elsevier, Wiley, VCH, and all these journals which are called as the international, these are the publishers, these are the international publishers who publishes many journals of high quality. And if you want to submit that particular paper into the journals, first thing that they are going to do is to check for the plagiarism, check for the publication ethics, and other checks are there. The code of conducts are very, very important. In which particular conditions you have conducted your research work is also very, very important. They judge all such parameters when you submit your paper to that particular journal. The editor of the journal has the first check on that particular manuscript, and then once he passed that particular manuscript, then the referees are assigned, and referees will see the academic quality of your manuscript. So this particular procedure is followed very transparently, very ethically, and considering the high quality. If at all the reviewer or editor finds that your topic of research is not of good quality, it is not original, it has been just copied from some other journals, they straight away reject the journals. In some of the cases, like Nature and Science, the ratio of rejection is around 90%. So only 10% is the acceptance, and very good researchers can only publish the papers into these particular journals. As far as chemistry or life sciences are concerned, it is also very important, and the stringent parameters have to be followed. For example, chemicals. When you deal with the chemicals, chemicals should be environmentally friendly. They should not be toxic. And if they are toxic, you have to dispense the chemicals in a proper manner. So all these things are very, very important in the research ethics. And in the journals, the paper manuscript, the referees will see all these aspects, and therefore it is very important. Our students, research students, not only research students, but in my opinion, we have to impart this knowledge to the undergraduate as well as postgraduate students also. Because now, as we know, National Education Policy 2020 has added 4-year undergraduate program. What they suppose is each and every college should undertake research, and that research degree can be given to the students in the 4th year. So this research factor or component has been percolated from PhD, University Grants Commission. Shivaji University has accepted it. We have to accept it. And from this year onwards, we have added that curriculum into that. Of course, I don't know whether there is a Swayam MOOC course on research and publication ethics. It should be there. The students can complete that course from Swayam and MOOCs portal, and they can get qualified themselves, and they can get a credit for that. If not, then I just request this Department of Library and Information Science to come up, see the curriculum, go through the curriculum, and if possible, you can prepare the manuscript, which is the standard manuscript, with adequate bibliography. References should be there. Like Committee on Publication Ethics is one of the important document that is available on the internet. If you go to the homepage of the University Grants Commission, right from the UGC chairman to the NAC chairman, they have given some introduction to the publication and research ethics. So they also have given some references to some standard documents, which can be referred by the students and faculty members to prepare for the research and publication ethics paper. So this paper, but there is a lot to learn from that. There is a lot to imbibe from that. And therefore, this paper is very, very important. If Department of Library and Information Science can prepare standard notes and forward those notes to Board of Deans, then we can see that how these standard notes can be circulated to all the students from Shivaji University. You can boost the economy of the country. Not only that, we are now expecting a lot from the research students and the faculty members. The research should not be limited to the lab. There should be the transition from lab to land. Whatever the research that you are doing in the laboratory should be adopted, should be useful to the society for the betterment of the society. And therefore, what we need is to come up with some inventions, convert those inventions into innovations, and the innovations can be translated into entrepreneurship and then finally into startups. So Shivaji University is also boosting that particular aspect, and a student can take a walk from research, invention, innovation, entrepreneurship, and startups. So what we expect is that the student not only submit the thesis, but each thesis can be converted into a startup. Is it really possible? And that is the challenge in front of us on the occasion of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and on the occasion of Shivaji University's Hirak Mahotsav. So with these few remarks, I wish you all the best, and I'm sure that research and publication ethics, this one-day national seminar and webinar will be highly useful and fruitful to all the participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your valuable guidance. Now I request Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. D.T. Shirke, sir, to guide us as a chief guest. We are eager to listen to your thought-provoking address. Over to Shirke, sir.
I suppose there are some connectivity issues you might have realized in between. At least to my end, I was facing some issues, so I thought that I should change the gazette. Anyway, good morning to all of you on the occasion of one-day national seminar on research and publication ethics, organized by Department of Library and Information Science and Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Research Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. We
Voice is not coming.
Hello, sir.
No voice.
Hello, sir.
So we have an eminent resource persons, Dr. Murari from Goa and Dr. Zadav from Chennai. Dr. Sutar, Director of Knowledge Research Center. Dr. Sachin Kumar Patil, Head of the Department of Library and Information Science. Dr. Bilawar, Dr. S.V. Thorat, and I can see Dr. Vaidande is also here, a former HOD of this particular department. Glad to see you. All the fellow librarians from affiliated colleges, other institutes, all over the country, research scholars, teachers, and friends. On the occasion of 59th Foundation Day of the Knowledge Research Center and Department of Library and Information Science, Hirak Mahotsav of Shivaji University, and Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, I extend a warm greetings to all of you. This particular national webinar is really a very timely and apt event that is being organized by Department of Library Science and Knowledge Research Center of Shivaji University. Sometimes I feel that why we need to organize this kind of events. We have to talk about the ethics. So something is wrong in the system. and therefore we have to do this particular activity. Already Professor P.S. Patil has spelled out these things are, in fact, have been initiated by University Grants Commissions as well. So we need to tell all the stakeholders that we will have to be honest with our profession. This is a kind of honesty, abiding with the rules and regulations, and then we'll have to make aware of what are the research ethics, what are the publication ethics. I think we sometimes we find that there is some part of the society in this particular community, I would say, society, when I say not the whole society, but society of academicians who are probably are not doing the work up to the mark, and then we'll have to tell them this is not fair and you'll have to do it. So we have to be very honest. The whole summary of this particular event is that we are just advising our fellow researchers and stakeholders that we will have to be honest. What happens when we do research? Again, second question comes into mind is, why do we do research? Is it for our own sake, for the nation's sake, for the society's sake? What for it is? And then I think question, if you ask sincerely this question to an individual, most of the times we think about the research for an individual sake. Most of the times, I'm not saying all the while. Yes, I know there are people who are working for nation. They are pursuing their research for the nation, for the globe, for the entire community. And here comes whatever we do has to be following all kinds of ethics in that whole process. Who are the stakeholders? The stakeholders begins with an individual researcher. The fellow researcher is pursuing the research for getting degree, then guide comes into picture. When guides comes into picture, the third person is the evaluator. The evaluator of thesis, because if there is a degree, then there is an evaluation process, then comes as a evaluator. And if the things are on the other hand, we would like to have some kind of publication, then naturally the referee comes into picture. The joint author, the entire community of joint authors, they come into picture. The publisher comes into picture. And on the top of this, a layman who is reading this particular thing also comes into picture. So as far as the publication and research ethics is concerned, there are many stakeholders associated with the whole process. And everyone's job is a bit distinct and responsible also. So it is not an individual responsibility, though it is, yes, the person who is taking initiative, the greater part of the responsibility goes to him or her. But it is, to some extent, is a joint responsibility also. But you know, the publisher, they say that we are not responsible for what you publish. We'll have to declare that there is something like a, you already assessed what is called as a plagiarism. And then with that particular certificate, they go, some publisher, they bother about their own mechanism to assess this particular for the plagiarism, and then only they go for the publication part. So there are some principles, there are some things, and now it has become so important. University Grants Commission is making it mandatory that before you register for a degree, you will have to undergo this particular training. So at least you should be made aware of this is the thing possibly you must know before you start working. Lot of deliberations will be there, I'm sure. But the message that one has to pass to all the stakeholders who are in the process of this particular publication as well as research is that, in a very simple and single word, be honest. Be honest with your subject. Be honest with your research topic. Be honest with the processes that you do. Be honest what you publish, you would like to, what you intend to publish. And when you use the word honest, I think everything comes into that. If you are trying to use certain material which is already published, you have to quote that particular thing. If you are following certain fellow researchers, you have to acknowledge the already contribution made by that particular researcher. And sometimes we feel that many times we bother about hiding the things. See, data, whatever data you are using, okay, there should not be any, you should not, I think you may not like the word, but fabrication, the word is being used in this particular community also. There should not be any fabrication. There should not be any manipulation also. whatever data you get is a data. And whatever you get, if your method is wrong, yes, the results will go wrong. If your method is scientific and you trust on that particular method, naturally the data which comes out of that particular process has to be trusted on, and the same data should be used. At the end, sometimes we feel that why do we are doing a research, not in all disciplines, but sometimes um, our ultimate conclusion is ready before you start doing research. And we are inclined to reach that particular conclusion, which is targeted conclusion. So one should not do that particular thing. See, whatever conclusion you get out of your research is your conclusion. Whether people like it or not, that is a different issue. But thinking that the conclusion itself is this, and then I will start my research, I think is not a good thing. So many times our own views come into picture in the process of research, and we are inclined, rather we are biased to support that particular views or views of your fellow researchers or so and so forth. So I think we will have to follow certain aspects, and it should be scientific. Lot of things are going on, and you must have course in Swayam platform also, which is talking about this research ethics, research methodology. There is a high time now to go for this, because those who are pursuing the degree, no alternative. I'm very happy to see that this particular event is being organized by our Dr. Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center and Department of Library and Science. Both the units are doing wonderful. Our Knowledge Resource Center is quite rich. Already Professor P.S. Patil, Pro Vice Chancellor, has spelled about their activities and their richness. And I think legacy is being carried out. It is taken to the stakeholders. My best wishes are with all of you, those who would like to start their research. It is the best event for them. Those who are in the process of event, it is definitely not best, but the better event for them. And those who are expert, I think now they have to really look into all these factors and see that how to fine tune their ongoing processes. I think with these few words, and thanking you for inviting me to be a part of this particular important event, my best wishes, and I'm sure that this is to be a grand success as far as a step towards honesty in the whole research process is concerned. Thank you very much, and my special thanks to Dr. Tapaswi and Dr. Zado, who could spare their valuable time and join with us on this eve of Foundation Day celebration. Thank you and have a great time. Namaskar.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your motivational and valuable guidance. It is useful for research fellow. Now I request Dr. P.B. Bilawar, sir, Deputy Librarian, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, to introduce resource persons of first session, Dr. Murari Tapaswi, sir.
Good morning to one and all. Am I audible, Sangram?
Yes, sir.
Our respected chief guest of today's national webinar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. D.T. Shirke, sir, Dr. P.S. Patil, sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, Program Conveners, respectively, Dr. D.B. Sutar, In Charge Director, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Center, and Dr. Sachin Kumar Patil, In Charge, Head of the Department, Department of Library and Inform Science, University Kolhapur, valued resource persons, Dr. Tapaswi, sir, and Dr. Jadhav, sir, my colleague, Dr. Thoras, sir, Dr. Jadhav, sir, Dr. Khamkar, sir, my senior professionals in LIS domain, especially Dr. Vaidande, sir, all the participants, those who are present online from the various locations, staff of Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Center and Department of Library and Information Science. It is my great pleasure to introduce first session's resource person, Dr. Murari Tapaswi, sir.
Thank you.
Before beginning to my assigned work, let me brought to the notice of all that very recently NAC has made mandate to all the higher education institutions stakeholders that their research publications should be published only in UGC care listed journals, and that too it's proof for validation. Again, as you know, and as told by Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor and Dr. Sudhar sir, in most of the universities, it is mandated to complete MPhil, PhD, pre-registration coursework under all faculties before admitting to the research degrees like MPhil and PhD. And the syllabus is totally based on RPE, that is Research and Publication Ethics. which is closely related to our today's theme of the webinar. Hence, in this direction, for the benefit of all, we organized this national webinar on the same theme of RPE. So once again, I welcome you to all on this gathering. Now, I am turning towards my given responsibilities of introduction. Dr. Tapasvi sir did his BLIS from Dr. Baba Sahib Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, MLIC from DRTC, Bangalore, and PhD from Karnataka University, Dharwad. The title of his PhD is Trends in Indian Oceanographic Research Publications for the year 1963 to 1992, a bibliometric study by development and use of CDS ISIS based application software, which is closely related to the theme of today's national webinar. Considering his great academic and professional qualifications, he was served at many institutions and at various positions like as a librarian at SBES College of Science, Aurangabad, then at Indian Grassland and Food Research Institute, that is ICAR, Jhansi, and as a documentation officer of various levels at CSIR, National Institute of Oceanography, NIO, Goa, for more than 26 years, and afterwards 9 years as a chief scientist at NIO, Goa, and more than 6 years as officer on special duty at Goa University, Goa. If we can look at his achievements, there is a long list classified under different levels like institutional, national, international level. I am summarizing few of it. The prominent academic achievement at the institutional level is the development of content management system of NIO's website that can be graded as the third rank amongst the oceanography institutions all over the world. At the national level, his expertise lies in the development of National Information Center for Marine Sciences with the exploration of its different products and services for marine science users within India and abroad also. That was funded by the DSIR project. Again, development of a biodiversity information database on Indian mangroves. At the international level, his role lies in the development of marine information products of the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission, that is IOC of UNESCO, and also development of ocean data and information network in African countries, etc. He has been engaged with several professional activities like visiting professor at Department of Library and Information Science at Goa University, Goa, as well as counselor at IGNO Goa campus. He is member of several professional organizations like ILA, ISLIC, SIS, etc. He has visited many countries like Australia, France, Germany, South Africa, Thailand, UK, USA as a part of UN assignments and further academic and extension work. Considering his academic, professional, and research endeavors in the profession, he was honored as Best Librarian Award in the year 2013 by the Department of Arts and Culture, Goa government. He has published more than 25 research papers in well-known reputed journals of national and international origin and authored 3 books. We are so lucky that such a great personality with full of academic credits is with us as a resource person for this national webinar. So welcome Dr. Tapasvi sir and request to take a further charge of it. Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Tapasvi sir.
Thank you, beloved sir. Now I request our first resource person, Dr. Murari Tapasvi sir, Documentation Officer, National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, to deliver his expert lecture on Research Integrity, Bird's Eye View. Dr. Tapasvi sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Audible.
And is my slide seen?
Visible. It's visible.
Slide over there. Is the slide available? Do you see my slide?
Yes, we can see.
Hello. Right. Thank you. Thank you. So let me stop my video and concentrate on the slide as such. It's 11:15, and I would try to be within time frame that's given to me. This is what I selected as a topic as the bird's eye view. So I would touch upon all the topics that the Honorable Vice Chancellor and the Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor touched upon, and let me try to put it in my words, I would say that way. When we think of such topics, yes, we cannot leave our basics. That's we cannot be a researcher and then only have the follow the ethics in the research as such, research processes as such. However, we describe that as we are part of a civilized society, and therefore we have all the what you call ethics and integrity, human values together. And it's not only for the research work as such. Okay, that's the first aspect of my presentation. I would then switch on to the research integrity issues, the FFP that the Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned about. And then there are other aspects of research integrity, such as the salami slicing, authorship issues, collaboration, and of course, journal selection, which I would just touch upon because there is going to be another speaker who is going to speak in detail on this. There is, when we give the examples of fabrication, falsification, etc., that are more inclined. One moment, please. Yes. Huh? So shall I start from beginning?
Yes, sir. Just 2 minutes, sir.
Yeah. It appears that we have a technology glitch.
I can see your sir PPT.
Okay, so can I continue?
Let
Professor Dr. Bilal.
the Shivaji University organizer decide. Dr. Dhananjay?
Dr. Bilawar just now telephoned me that there was some problem on that side, and then I should restart it.
But sir, its slide is visible to me here.
No, actually, it's very visible, but they want to record that. That's why some problem there for recording.
Okay.
Tapasvi sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Tapasvi sir, Dr. Vaidande.
Oh, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. So, Dr. Bilawar, are you back?
Sorry for the technical error. Hello. Hello.
So, Dr. Bilawar, can I
Yes,
start
you can
again?
continue. You can start, sir.
Yes, okay. Since we are on the first slide of the presentation, let me start it since beginning again. What I said initially is this, that the integrity, a person to follow the ethical principles is not only the part of the research activity, but it is a part of the environment that we live in. We live in a civilized society, and the civilized society has some human values that includes the ethics and integrity issues also. And that's what I'm going to start my presentation with. I'm then going to come to the research integrity issues, the FFP that Honorable Vice Chancellor mentioned about. I will touch upon those aspects. Then other aspects such as salami slicing, authorship issues, collaboration, and journal selection. I'm not going to speak much on the journal selection because there is going to be another presentation in this particular program after my presentation. Then I have added some specific slides on the research integrity in the social science aspects, and then the linguistics and literature studies as such, because this is what we normally speak on the research integrity. It is more bent towards the sciences and technology as such, issues as such. So that's why I have a few slides on these aspects as well. And then finally, how do the organizations handle the research integrity as such, right? So let me begin with the civilized society. See, when we think of we Indians, I would say, our scripts are our guiding principles, and there are 4 pillars of our life. That's dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Okay, the dharma prescribes the guidelines and rules. The rules are the values for appropriate human behavior, and the human behavior is nothing but the actions, our karma. Okay, and the foundation of human values is based on the principles like the truth, honesty, loyalty, love, peace, and so on and so forth. All these human values get reflected in our actions, the karma as such. Okay, what our Indian philosophy says is this, that when we talk of the pillars, the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, well, when we perform some function, the karma, the action, then the actions would always result in the financial gains, that's the artha, and also the other fulfillment, the satisfaction, that's the kama. Okay, but if we take that as a phala, okay, as the fruits of our work for ourselves, then what happens is this, that brings another cycle of karma, and then that continues, and all that it gets into the never-ending loop as such. So therefore, our scripts suggest that you do the karma with phalatyag. That's something that's very, very important as such, and that puts an individual on the path of moksha, then the liberation or fulfillment. Okay, I mean, this is the philosophical terms. These philosophical terms are for the great values, but then those could be applied to even the smaller aspects of our daily activity as such. Okay, the actions performed based on human values finally result in a civilized society. So they actually these actions, the good actions, make us a civilized society. Okay, and that's something as in a broad coverage we see that about as such, whether we belong to a academic discipline, we belong to a medicus, or we belong to the legal aspects, anyway, anything of that sort. Let's define the term ethics. It's a branch of philosophy, and it's also called as moral philosophy. Okay, that deals with human behavior, character, and values of life, etc., etc. Okay, a science of customs, norms, and habits has accepted, as accepted by the section of the society, becomes the ethical principles for that particular society. right? There are some common principles which are applicable for all types of cultures. There are some specific principles applied for a specific culture, and that also becomes then a part of the ethics as such. Now, how do we differentiate the ethics from other sciences as such? Say the natural sciences, they deal with the study of the things around us, whereas the moral science, that's the ethics, deals with the values and ideas. Okay, natural sciences, we understand facts, whereas in the moral sciences, we understand we underline the values and decide what's right or ideal as such. The natural sciences finally infer or they decide the truths based on the observations, whereas the moral science, it is decided by the right and wrong is decided by desirable or undesirable of a particular action as such, right? So that's the ethical principles. The Western philosophers, they believe that ethics as a theoretical science. However, the Indian traditions believe that it is a practical science that leads to the salvation, that's moksha or the fulfillment as such. Okay, and that's the final aim of the human life, right? That's what we should aim at. To achieve this, the code of conduct is to be followed, which is nothing but the ethical principles as such. There is a very great scientist who had put the moral principles and then he put those principles in the stages of human development over a period of time, how the person would get into this morality as such. So he describes Kohlberg describes this in 3 stages. What you call the in the childhood stage, it is the ethical principles or the moral principles are imbibed on us by way of punishment and reward. Whereas as we grow up, as we get into the teenage and to the middle age, we ourselves get they realize that yeah, we are a part of the society, and therefore we think that yes, we should live as per the society principles and the ethical principles that are led by the society, etc., etc. And then we are also bound by the law and order as such. So that becomes the middle age development as such. And the last part of our life, that's where the person is matured enough, and then he or she can decide by justice and the spirit of law and the principled consensus. So that's what Kohlberg had described the stages of the ethical principles as such. Let's see now how we apply these principles to our life as such. What is happening is this, that our changing lifestyles are bringing up new questions, okay, and that could be answered only by ethical principles. Say, for example, abortion, suicide, surrogacy, pregnancy test, cloning, biotechnological advancement, so many things. As we are advancing, there is always a discussion, whether that's good, whether that's ethical, whether that's going to harm a society or otherwise. There are social issues that are also coming up, like the rise of greenhouse gases, extinction of species, climate change, and so on and so forth. Okay, so these are all tested with the principles of applied ethics. We apply the ethical principles to these areas of knowledge, and then we see whether they are right or wrong. Okay, this applied ethics, therefore, have now what you call many branches, and as per the different professions, like as I indicated, medicos, journalists, businesses, academics and researchers, legal personalities, several professions. Okay, that gets then that actually this kind of what you call principles, the applied ethical principles started at large with the medicos as such. When we think of professional ethics, we have the concept and framework of what is moral right or wrong. That's the values that are applied to a professional organization, execution of policies, and then the behavior of the individual that goes along with. So it's the from organizational level to the individual level, all this gets applied. This includes the don'ts and do's, or the values and rules and regulations that monitor this. That's what I could say. Okay. The professional ethics deals with the desirable acts and the undesirable acts in a particular profession as such. Okay. The ethics, it says that it cannot be taught but learned by examples. Okay, there is a slok in Bhagavad Gita which says, Yat yat acharati shrestha tat tat eva itarah jana sah yat pramanam kurute lokah tat anuvartate. What does it mean is this, that if my senior is following the ethical principles, I will be tend to follow his path. Okay, so and therefore it is a great responsibility on the senior personalities in an organization, in a civilized society, that they should follow the ethical principles. The other public will follow them, and that's how there is a very big effect. It is a very large effect. If the seniors in an organization or in a society are good, then naturally the society will also tend to be good, because they are the icons for the people as such, right? The actions supersede words. Okay, the ethical behavior can be taught by actions rather than by words as such. Like, say for example, the knowledge of values and ethics is only dead burden without any practice. So if you are not following, and if you are just talking about that, then it's of no use, right? Besides legal framework, ethical decisions also depend on how one feels about the self. Okay, the stages of his or her stages of moral development as such, and in an organizational environment. If the organization or in the society that you are living in is not following the ethical principles, then it becomes extremely difficult for you to be a part of that society if you are ethical. If you are, of course, then not so concerned with, yes, then you also become the part of the organization or the society automatically as such. The ethical practices can be encouraged in the organization by rewards and punishments and continued discussions and defined framework. I will speak at the end of my presentation on this aspect. Okay, now let's come to the terminology integrity. What is this? What is that? How is it different from ethics? Ethics is a broader concept. It is a broader concept. It's a guideline for a human behavior. Whereas the term integrity hints us how we practice the ethical values in our daily lives or activities. So the ethics is something external, whereas integrity is internal to us, internal to an organization, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's come now to the topic of the discussion. That's the research integrity. Okay, the research is an essential organized component in an academic activity as such. The Honorable Vice Chancellor, Pro Vice Chancellor did mention about these activities and the wonderful work that's being done in Shivaji University, Kolhapur in this regard. It's very, very essential, because we are in the market-driven society, and then we need to get organized ourselves. There's much of what you call bearing, I would put it, of the organizational standing depends on the research activity that's carried out by that particular organization. Okay, you are ranking in NIRF, you are ranking at the accreditation at NAC, and all that comes in with international accreditation agencies also, and all that. Okay, so it's a market-driven organized activity. That's what I feel. Okay, it's a part of academic activity as a broader concept. Research is a part of the broader academic activity as well. But then we'll focus only on the research aspect. It's witnessed unprecedented rapid technological advances. This is something, a big change, especially I would say that in our lifetime. There are so many things that are changing, and there is the wheel of the technological advances has been put in on us, and we had to keep learning, we had to keep deciding what's good, what's bad, and that's something that matters in the research integrity. It raises issues of research integrity and ethical conduct, and we need to curb this and then keep applying it. Okay, this is the sentence that I picked up from National Education Policy. The focus now is on the research, and therefore it has, as I said it, that it is very, very essential that all the academic institutions must focus on the research activities as much as possible to get the benefits out of it, and it of course benefits the country. Okay, how the research integrity is what you call moving, I would say, at the world level or at the Indian or country level. This is a graph that I drew it from by extracting data from the Retraction Watch database. See, the final result of a research is a publication. If you don't publish, well, your research has no value. So the publications lead to the good research or bad research. It makes a decision as such. And this database keeps a track of the research publications which have then, after their publication, been retracted. Okay, and this is a graph that indicates that yes, we have been in the wavy path, and I don't know the number of retractions have suddenly gone up in 2021. The red line is for the India, whereas the blue line is for the world. I have really no idea why this has happened, but this the retraction is for all reasons, interpreting, including the plagiarism aspects as such. We'll see how the plagiarism is there in that later. There are three ethical issues. Okay, they are usually called FFP. Okay, the fabrication, falsification, and plagiarism. We'll touch upon all this. There are other aspects of research misconduct. There's the salami slicing, authorship issues, international collaboration, and journal circulation. Okay, let me tell you something about the fabrication of the data. See, if you are a person in the field of sciences, then the laboratory work or the field work is something that's very, very essential. But if you do not conduct any experiments and sit over the table and just write some numbers that tally with the other successful published paper, that becomes a fabrication of data. And such data is something like what you call castle that is built with the playing cards. Okay, and that castle will collapse at any time, and that's something the ones that get into the fabrication of the data would always run at the risk as such. Okay, in the fabrication of data is as I mentioned, it's you report the work which is not at all done by making up some data as factual, and then you copy, report, and publish the results from previous researchers' original work by changing the numbers here and there. Okay, and then you say that yes, you did carried out the experiment, and this is your results, and your results tally with the previous work, and that's your wonderful paper. Which that's the data fabrication. Okay, and it's very, very risky, very risky. The falsification, this is another term that's used. What happens is this, that when you really work in the laboratory, or whether you really work in the field, you collect data, and then you find that there is some outlier in your data. So, and that's really what you call creating problems in your results as such. So you will just remove that kind of data, and that's called a data manipulation. I just given an example from the data. There are you can manipulate the research materials also. The kind of materials that you would use for your work, and then make the experiments, keep the record of the results, and then yes, you would say that this is what the results you arrived at. Or you would manipulate the processes, equipment, anything in the research process as such. Okay, this is all for the arriving at the desired results in a sense of expected outcome from the experiment. This is at times done because people would like to have the positive results of their research, and that's something very, very risky. Okay, the manipulating of images, removing outliers, inconvenient results, changing, omitting, or adding data points, or the false or misleading data statements are all the examples of manipulation of the what you call data, and then that leads to a falsification. Right? These activities, the fabrication and falsification, they always get detected. There are ways. There are vigilant reviewers. If you like to publish your research in a very prestigious journal, the honorable speakers mentioned about the impact factor, which gives a prestige to a journal, etc. And this is something that is the falsification and fabrication. You may not be able to get into that because the stringent reviewing process keeps on going there. And even after you, suppose if you get succeeded in publishing your paper, still it has a risk of retraction, as we saw it in the earlier graph. Okay, so how the reviewers track this, whether this is falsified data, fabricated, they feel that the data from the control experiment may be presented as too perfect. Okay, there is we live in a system that is not 100% perfect always. So there are some errors here and there, and those are considered as a part of the system. If you are going to present a data which is extremely perfect, then you are definitely under the scanner, I would say. Okay, the knowledge of previous studies on the topic, if the reviewer has, the reviewer can then check and compare your research results with the previous studies that are carried out as such. And normally the prestigious journals do find the reviewers or referees who have worked in the area of knowledge that you submitted the manuscript for the publication. The another funny thing that happens, and those people, the readers as well as the referees, if they are aware about your organization, about your laboratory, whether the laboratory has the capability to conduct a particular research or not, and then if you have the paper published on that particular research, then definitely they can doubt about your manuscript as such. The last item that's on this list is the reproducibility crisis. See, in the sciences, if you can do the experiment, someone else can also do the same experiment, and if they use your data to do the experiment, they should also be able to arrive at the same results that you arrived at. Okay, so that's something, the reproducibility. And then if the two experiments are not dealing with each other, then there is something wrong that could be said as in your manuscript that's done. Good journals, they will always insist that if you submit a manuscript of your paper, you should also deposit a data, your raw data from which you have worked out or you have arrived at the results. You should keep it in the repository, and that will help someone else to check whether your results are true or otherwise, and that increases the transparency. Therefore, you see, this particular journal, the scientific data, it says the data repository, they insist authors must deposit their data to a data repository as a part of the manuscript submission process. Manuscripts will not otherwise be sent for review at all. Okay, so this gives a almost nearly equal guarantee that the falsification and fabrication of data could be checked. Okay, with that. Okay, the falsification may also take place at times, if not intentionally, unintentionally. Let me tell you something like this. What happens is this, that say most of the time the social sciences people, they go for the interviews or surveys, and we are all human beings. If they have not been well trained, decided what exactly they are supposed to look for, what exactly they should grasp the information, how do they collect the data as such, then the researcher would interpret the data that he or she had collected, or from the interviews or surveys, and as per his interpretation, the data would get logged in. Okay, and that may not be correct. That may not be correct to the intention of the research as such. Okay, so there the falsification happens unintentionally, and therefore the what you call grilling work of a researcher is very, very essential in such a scenario, that what is that exactly he is looking for? He must be firm about it, and he or she would collect the data in a right way and interpret it right way and log it. The record keeping of the data helps in detecting such anomalies. Suppose if you are interviewing someone, it is better that you convert that your interview to data that's apart, but you should also get that the interview recorded, so that in case of anomaly, your senior officials or someone else can have a listen to that interview again, and then check whether the data that has been interpreted is right or wrong, etc. Okay, so that's it's not only for the interviews but for all aspects of the research as such. While using statistical and advanced methods, yes, I mean, what I mean to say is this, that the statistical methods are not taught at a large in all sciences, but these are very, very essential methods that are required at times when you conduct the research, and then if you are not knowledgeable, you don't know in depth what you call knowledge of the tool that you would be using, probably you would unintentionally what you call falsify your data as such. Again, from the retraction watch database, I downloaded the data, and I saw that how many papers have been retracted based on the falsification and fabrication in last few years as such. Well, here the red line is India, and then the again blue line is for the world. And then what I noticed, I have my interpretation of this particular graph is that why the numbers have dropped from, say, 2017 onwards. It's because that the papers with the falsified and fabricated data from 2017 had not yet been under the scanner. Okay, not as much as they were for the previous years. Okay, not that the society has improved and they have been very ethical and the integrity is followed by all the researchers, not like that, but probably over a period of time, the numbers on the falsification and fabrication would increase even for the years of the data that I'm showing you for 2017 to 21, right? Okay, let me touch upon the plagiarism aspect. Okay, once you do the analysis, your lab work is done, you then finally have the results at your hand, and then you start writing your manuscript that's to be published in the in a good journal. And then again, at least today, such a writing work is only done at the students have been taught to write something, to do the research, and write in their own words something at the postgraduate level itself. Okay, so they are not grilled from the bottom line, and that happens, and that they feel that okay, they would read something and they will keep that document open, and then they will start writing their manuscript. The intentionally or unintentionally, they are likely to copy the same words that particular document is carrying. Okay, so that's something very, very risky, and that's called plagiarism. Okay, you are not supposed to write in the sentences that someone else has written, or you cannot take the work or ideas and pass them as they are your own. Okay, the work and ideas, what is all that? That's the I will pick up that particular part of the sentence. I mean, those words from this definition. The work and ideas includes the written text, the artwork, that is the images, drawings, photographs, maps, videos, all that, everything, and even conversation. If you have some oral communication with someone, you require acknowledging that you talk to so and so, and then you understand that this is what it is. Okay, you have to give credits to that individual. Otherwise, it amounts to a plagiarism. Let me talk something about this, that the term, the phrase that I have used in the blue. I have made it blue, the someone else. Now, this someone else, don't think, though it is in the definition, someone else means it's not yours. No, it is not. If you have published something, and then if you are copying your previous work in the new work, it amounts to plagiarism. That's something very, very essential to understand. You cannot copy your previous works into the new works. That is a plagiarism as such. Okay, so how do you avoid this? Well, the best way is to paraphrase and cite. If you would like to say that someone else has done this work, and then your results match with that particular work or don't match with that work, you would express the previous work, review previous work in your own words. That's paraphrasing. And you will, without any doubt, you will cite that previous work. Okay, that's very, very essential. There are some situations where you require quoting exactly what the previous work says. So if that is the case, and you cannot avoid that, use quotes, and then write the sentence that they copy the sentence that you intend to bring to your readers' notice as such. Okay, but then you should indicate to your readers that you have picked up this particular sentence from someone else. So how do you do that? One is that you quote it, no doubt, but then you write in different font. You write in at an inner level margin, etc., etc. And then you, again, the site in any case is most important. The citation, you must cite all the works that you are referring to in your manuscript as such. Okay, you must cite your own works also. Until 2018, the government of India, or in the Indian scenario, academic scenario, there was no what you call legal binding on this, and well, there was not enough awareness also, I would say. But then in 2018, now the regulation has come in place, and that's the promotion of academic integrity and prevention of plagiarism in higher educational institutions. There are what you call the terrible, I would put it, that word, if you are caught, it would ruin your career. Okay, so I would not speak much on this because there are several aspects on the plagiarism, and that itself becomes another session as such. Okay, again, I went to Retraction Watch and then looked for how many papers that have been retracted over a period of time due to the plagiarism as such. Okay, and here is a graph. Interestingly, we notice that, that there are good number of papers that are still there, which have been retracted for the purpose of plagiarism. But as like we see for the falsification, fabrication, the graph lines have come down from 2017 onwards, and I guess that those would go up as the papers that are noticed that they are plagiarized, they will be then removed, and then the numbers would increase over a period of time. Okay, the retractions take time. It's not that the paper is published today and then tomorrow it's retracted. No, that doesn't happen. Right? Okay, so these are all, that's called FFP, falsification, fabrication, and then plagiarism. I would say something else also that is a part of research integrity. That's one is this salami slicing. That's the term that's used, phrase that's used for this. What is this? That you do a research for a particular hypothesis or aim, etc. And what you do is this, that you fragment your study into the multiple papers. That's the salami slicing. Salami is a fish, okay, and then you cut into the pieces, and then eating into the pieces is a good thing, but publishing a paper into the pieces is not, and that is not considered as ethical aspect in the research. Okay, this is how do one identify this, the salami slicing? What happens is this, that it's characterized by similarity of hypothesis, okay, methodology, and also results, but the text is different. Then naturally it is the previous experiment, I mean, not previous, the previous paper that you have published is also on the same hypothesis, methodology, and the results are also appear to be same. So that means that you have sliced your research activity into the different what you call manuscripts. Okay, the same group of authors usually don't quote their previous work just to hide that, yeah, this is a part of that particular study, and that's something that happens, but then you will one or other way get caught at times. Okay, the idea is to artificially inflate the number of publications. Okay, that's something we always tend to, and that's the individual's integrity that matters over here, right? It's fairly common practice. It's fairly common practice, but it is ethically incorrect. Okay. What I would like to say over here is a single publication with all data together. That would result, in case if you are thinking that you will have number of publications from the one experiment, and then therefore you would slice your results, then it is good to have a single publication, because that it would increase the chances of getting that accepted in a prestigious journal, because then you are going to say that you have worked on a comprehensive data set, and your results are then based on a large data set as such. The better number of citations than to the split papers. This is what has been observed, and tomorrow the assessments of individuals will be done based on the citations, and not only that you are publishing in a UGC care list of journals. No, how many citations your paper fetch, that matters a lot. That matters a great thing. Okay, so that's about the salami slicing. Well, let us see what is an author in a research paper. The author is the one who has made substantial contributions in conception and design, acquisition, analysis, and interpretation of data, drafting and revising the article, take responsibility of the work done, and that's an author. Okay, in an academic and research environment, the authorship to a publication is something of great pride. Okay, it's like a baby for an individual. Okay, the people get enthused. When somebody introduces you during the talk, they say that, oh, you have published so many papers, and etc. etc. So that's something, a matter of prestige if you are a researcher. Okay, and that's why you feel to have authorship on many papers as such. Senior people. Okay, at times, now this is an integrity aspect. We have noticed what we have decided what is an author, and now we will get into the integrity aspects. There are some concepts that have come up, that is the honorary author or guest author. These are the authorships bestowed upon the established individuals or persons in key positions. Okay, the idea is this, that your paper will get published in a prestigious journal because that particular great author, the great personality, is associated with your paper. And that's something that's usually in the scientometrics terminology, it's called a shadow effect. Okay, you will also get citations because that great personality is an author in your paper. So people tend to cite the paper who has established his credibility and contributions in a particular area of knowledge, right? But then it's considered as ethically incorrect. Okay, there is another kind of authorship, the gift authorship. Okay, this is given to the colleagues in exchange of a hope that they would reciprocate. So you do the experiment, research, and then you give some authorship to your colleague, and then your colleague would be doing some another experiment, and then in exchange he will give you an authorship in his paper or her paper, right? So this is cooperation. This is cooperation, but that amounts to be ethically incorrect, right? The gift authorship is also given to the individuals with minor contributions, okay, at times to maintain relations, at times to bring them up, whatever the intentions, right? But then it is ethically incorrect. Okay, it's given to the science administrators. Okay, if you are applying for a fund, and if that particular person is the one who is a deciding person to give you fund for your project, you will say, okay, I will better give an authorship to that particular person. So next time when the funding is done, he would open his purse strings a little bit more, and then you will be comfortable in your research activity as such. But that's all not correct. There's another type of author. It's called ghost authors. What happens in this case? The students, the postdoctoral fellows, the junior researchers, they are made to do the research, analysis, and even writing of the manuscript, okay, by their research supervisor or guide. And in spite of all the work that is being done by these people, their name doesn't come into the authorship. Okay, the name of that particular supervisor or the senior personality comes in there, and then well, there is at times that also happens that okay, there is a great personality in the department, in the university, and then he has received an invitation and he doesn't have a time to write something, so he asks his student that please help me, and the student does it all happily because and then what the senior personality feels, okay, this is an what you call learning experiment. The student is learning by this, by doing the ghost author's work. I says no, it's ethically incorrect. Okay, the one who works as author's personal editor to write first draft and to save author's time, I said it, that's also unethical. Most dangerous in the ghost authors is this. Suppose there is an equipment and then the equipment is sold to your organization, the lab equipment, and then the company representative comes in and then they say that okay, you write a paper, I will give you a research done, and you can publish that paper in your name, and that is something a ghost author. So it is the purpose is to promote that particular instrument. Okay, that instrument would give such fantastic results, etc., etc. But the paper has been written by the manufacturer of that particular agency, and then you get an authorship, so you would be happy. That becomes a ghost authorship. It is not only unethical, but it is dangerous because of all other authors. That's very important. At times what happens is the corresponding author don't care how to write the name of the author that he is giving co-authorship, and that creates the problem in the career of that particular author because the name keeps on changing, and that's not correct. Okay, integrity also is concerned with the international collaboration. I would run fast because I'm running out of time. The authors from multiple countries come together for research on a topic, and then they come from different culture, and the risk and benefits to the countries and individuals are not known. The protection of data is not done, and there are some sensitive data for every country. Say, for example, I worked in the National Institute of Oceanography, where the data is collected from our EEZ, exclusive economic zone, from the seawater, and that data is not to be made to the public. So in such a case, the international collaboration doesn't work. Okay, or if at all it works, it will work not by sharing the raw data, but by probably at the level of analysis or interpretation of that data as such. Okay, and nothing else. So one has to be very careful. The international collaboration also one has to be careful about the intellectual property rights. If you are deriving patents out of your research work, and then suppose if the patent goes to the industry for the industrial production, then who would fetch the benefits of that? So that's something that's very essential. The integrity also matters for the journal publication. Okay, journal selection. You keep away from predatory and clone or hijack journals. Every day something new journal is coming up. Okay, and remember that these journals are also at times a part of the international databases that are being considered as standard by the UGC care list. So it is author's responsibility to keep himself or herself away from such journals by understanding what is a predatory journal or what is a clone or hijack journal as such. That's very, very important. Well, let me come to the integrity aspects in the social science and humanities. Okay, there is a particular reason for this, because this large number of social science studies are done by collecting data on human beings or from human beings. Okay, by way of questionnaires or interviews, etc., etc. And therefore, the role of the participant, the one who provides you the information or provides you data, or you collect the data about that person, etc., etc., it becomes there are rights for those participants. That's something that is very essential. You require taking consent from the participant as such for working on the data that you have collected. The consent can be in the form of voluntary consent or informed or unambiguous consent as such, right? In absence of the ability to consent, like say for example, if you are collecting data from children and then children can't assess that what kind of risks that they would run through. So it is essential that the researcher obtains a consent from the parents. Okay, that's very, very essential. And there are situations where the participants, the research participants from whom you are collecting data, they are not in a position, don't have ability to give the consent. It is the responsibility of the researcher that that particular data doesn't harm the participant's life as such. Okay, to do this, there has to be a document highlighting the researcher's responsibility and the rights of the participants. So this could be shared with the participants, and then the consent, written consents are to be obtained from the participants as such. There are responsibilities of researchers towards the participants also, that you clarify the boundaries, expectations. What is that you doing with the data that you have collected from that particular participant? That's what you give a confidence to the researcher that you are going to ensure the anonymity and data confidentiality, that you are not going to make this open that so and so is doing so and so. No, that's not the right way of doing the research. Okay, that's unethical. However, there is an exception. If you are found that the participant in a process you found that the participant is endangering themselves in the process, that it is not right way, then it is better to inform that because here in this scenario that you are considering not the participants what you call confidentiality, but it is then the larger environment. It is our country at times that would be a task. Okay, so if you come across, it is essential that you should inform it to the appropriate authority that this is the danger that is here, that's likely to be. Okay. The other responsibilities include respect privacy and family life of participants. I already said that. The report results to the participants. If some participants are interested in your results, then it is before publication of your results, it is good to show them that this is what finally the results that it's collect. You respect the legacy of the deceased people. That's very, very important. Without convincing documentation or justification, you must refrain from the attribution of irrational conclusions as such. Okay, there are responsibilities that vest towards the groups and institutions. Okay, you require protecting the integrity and interests of disadvantaged and vulnerable groups, or the cultural differences you have to take care. You have also responsibility towards funders, that if some funder is asking you to what you call have your results in the fashion that benefit the funder, no, you should not agree to that, and that's something that's very, very essential. Okay, let us go to the area of literature and linguistics. Yes, there is also an integrity required. Usually there are no experiments that are done there, no analysis, lab analysis is done, but then their publications also should have the integrity issues, and those could be tackled in this fashion. They should avoid, when they write their papers, they should avoid exclusive language and weaknesses of bias. Okay, if you want to say something about your argument, it should not by the exclusive language, but what you should do is that you should put all those different viewpoints on the ground and then put your argument, that how your argument stand out on other viewpoints as such. Okay, you must respect and explain other opinions fully and clearly without bias. That's very, very essential for the researchers in the field of literature and linguistics. Your wording, you should avoid making assumptions about what your audience knows. Avoid overly emotional words. And on the other side, you should use mild or indirect words or expressions. If you consider to be too hard, harsh to a particular person, or it's going to otherwise bring an unpleasancy or embarrassing situation. Okay, your wording that when you write in your manuscript, it should be what you call away from focusing on one type like race, class, gender, and so on and so forth. No, that should not be the case. You should use inclusive language. I mean, this is something we unintentionally do at times, but then we say gender bias. We will say police officer. It's better to say policeman, so that includes the female police officers also. Okay, so that's what it has been said about. Let me now come to the last point of my presentation. That's how do you handle the integrity in an organization? Educate. That's most essential way of handling the integrity. Okay, you insert preventive mechanisms in handling this integrity issues in the organizations. And if there are situations, we are all human beings, and then some people would even surpass those preventive mechanisms, publish something, and then if they get exposed, it is essential that you take some disciplinary actions as such. Let's see what is that education means. Okay, the research integrity ethical practices, they cannot be taught as such, but of course the stakeholders can be educated, like organizing this kind of awareness programs. It is continuous hammering. That's what is essential. Okay, the educating by development of organizational culture. I already said in the beginning that in the ethical principles you can see for a particular organization itself, and then you find yourself odd man out over there in case if you are following those ethical principles and the organization doesn't care about it. Okay, so that's something you must develop an organizational culture. That's very essential. So the younger generation follows those practices. Inform about the preventive and disciplinary mechanisms. That's very essential. So that's something they are made aware of. You allow everyone to express their opinions, but they should support with the examples. Okay, if there are differences, they are to be settled without escalating those issues outside as such. You should collaborate to find solutions on the professional matters within an organization. That's very essential. Not we all have different ideas, but then those what you call different opinions should not get out of our organizational border. Okay, that's very essential. Inculcate habit of acknowledging. That's also matters in the plagiarism. I said cite. There is nothing wrong in giving credit to someone else whose idea or data or results that you are trying to quote in your paper. So it's very, very essential. Okay, even in the acknowledgement section, you can write all those people's name who have helped you in your research work. Yes, all those who are not authors, but they are of your great help. And there are several such entities that come across. Yes, one must respect copyright and privacy law. That's also what they educating the individuals as such. But what happens? Why people fizzle out and then get into the unethical practices? Yes, these are the reasons. they are unable to meet the indicated deadlines, so write something and then deliver. If the institution doesn't have a good infrastructure to carry out the result, yes, finally that might lead to the integrity issues. Okay. The competition and ranking, this is something again today's market requirements, but then I mean it should be done in a fair way, and the ethical principles should not be turned down for getting into the competition. Yes, we are in the competitive world, and therefore we have to be in the competitive world. We can't say that, no, we don't want to be part of it. No, you can't. The priority claims, this is another thing that matters. It's something like indicating deadlines also. I mean, if you might devise something and then you rush to say that, yes, you did that. It's good. You should do that without any delay, but you should not do that with half work. Okay, just to set your priority. No, it's not correct. The prestige, you just don't think that you, to get into the ranks or to get into the impact factor, you should do something wrong. No, emphasis should be on the quality and and not on the quantity. Okay. Usually the why the integrity issues take place is that the emphasis is given on the quantity, how many papers you have published, and that creates a problem. Okay. Plan well to follow deadlines. This is very, very essential. A paper, a manuscript, once you submit to a journal, it is going to take at least, say, 3 to 6 months to get it published. And if you are rushing for your degree, no. And then you say that, oh, I was rushing and therefore I submitted this paper to a journal which is going to publish in 2 weeks' time. No, you are likely to publish it in a predatory journal. And that's something you must plan your deadlines very well. The assessments of progress at short intervals, if that is done in the organization, then this the preventive mechanism is one of the that could be set, because then the individual can be said that that look, here is the situation, and then you should be careful about the equal opportunity and rewards for a good work. That goes without saying. Maintain transparency in the experiments. That's something very essential. Today, you can, as I mentioned, that the good journals ask for the data. Okay, so the data should be available in the public domain. And there is something that open notebook systems has also come into place. While doing the experiment, you keep on noting down what are the kind of difficulties that you faced, what are the achievements, etc., just like that, because all that work is not going to get published into your research paper, right? So it is very essential that this is a tool that makes that puts you on the transparent platform. Okay, to perform better, provide needed infrastructure. That's the responsibility of organization, and be available for the doubt clearance is the responsibility of the senior personalities in an organization. Okay, transparent in the administrative decisions. This is again the responsibility of an organization. Treating colleagues as equal partners in the progression. Yes, that's the teamwork that matters, and that helps the individuals not tending to be unethical. Establish dialogue with the guardians. This is for this, especially for the students who are looking for specific needs. Okay, and that's very, very essential then, because they should not fizzle out from the ethical practices to achieve something. Okay, and then finally, yes, use this similarity detection software, those plagiarism checkers, whatever that they are called. Okay, but then remember one thing, what people are thinking is this, that if my manuscript doesn't give me, doesn't come under the scanner of the similarity detection software, that means I have done my work. No, it is these softwares have their own limitations, especially for the people in the field of social sciences and then the literature, linguistics, etc. And your similarity cannot get detected over there. So it is your ethical, your integrity that matters much, and that is the on the forerun, rather than they depending on some tool if you are getting caught on that. Okay, that's what it is about the preventive mechanisms that could be set in an organization. Finally, some people still would go ahead and they would get exposed. It is very essential that the strict actions on the misconducts are to be taken. This is very hard to follow. Because at times they are our colleagues. At times they are senior professionals also. Okay, they get caught. But this is what is very, very essential for a good organizational culture. Okay, and that's why the disciplinary actions for those who are defaulters must be taken. That's definite. And not only do you take the action on particular person, but you communicate those actions to other stakeholders so that the others refrain from following the path of the misconduct. And that's what is also very, very essential. So this is in a nutshell. I'm sorry, I about 15 minutes I exceeded my time, but then thank you very much. I would like to express my gratitude for giving me an opportunity to be part of your program, and thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your valuable information. It's been a great pleasure to listen to you, and the participants are enlightened by the knowledge shared by you. From your expert lecture, is it understood that research is to see what everybody else has seen and to think what nobody else has thought? Thanks, sir. Now, dear participants, if you have any question, clarification about the topic, then kindly from the message to Dr. S.V. Thorat sir on his provided WhatsApp mobile number. Now this session is open for discussion. I request Dr. S.V. Thorat sir, Assistant Librarian, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, to start the question answer session. Over to Dr. S.V. Thorat sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Still, there is no question from participants. It may be because of difference between YouTube live and our live session. If we conduct all the questions at the end of program, it will remain better.
Okay, sir.
I'm sorry, I have another presentation to make at the university here at 3 o'clock, so I will have to go.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Sir, is there any platform or the mechanism to submit the research papers, especially for research scholars, as a part of peer review process? Because what happened? So state board nowadays, UGC listed publisher, they are rejected any paper nowadays. This trend is going on. So is there any platform or mechanism to submit and get accepted a paper for research scholars?
I would just give my experience at NIO, the National Institute of Oceanography, where I work. There was an internal committee set. There is an internal committee even now, today, set for scrutinizing the manuscripts that are to be sent to various publications like journals or conference proceedings, etc., etc. And these manuscripts, the bibliographic details and the author title and then the abstracts are put on the intranet on the public platform. Okay, and so everyone has an access to the work that that particular person has done, and that person is giving as an affiliation to that particular organization, because it matters for the organization. And therefore besides the committee, every researcher has an opportunity to see what's going on around, and if at all a student is doing something wrong, he can be caught internally itself, and then that could be prevented getting out of the organization as such.
Okay. Dr. Vaidyanathan sir, if you want to speak something.
Thank you, Dr. Murari sir.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, this paper I am teaching in the, now I am working in the Somaya Vihar University as a professor emeritus of library science. And this paper I am taking for the teaching for the all entire research students, because we are having more than 15 institutions and more than 140 students they are there this year. So this paper I am teaching here. This one very this is and sir, Murali sir, it's a very this is one detailed study has been presented. One thing is there I found that here the graph you have showed that in 2021 the Indian publication the graph is going down. That you showed you. It showed.
Yeah.
The reason for that still actually you would have what might be the reason for that?
The retraction was graphs.
Yeah.
I suspect because the retractions do not take place immediately. It takes some time.
Yeah, that is there.
So I feel that over a period of time, the numbers for those years would slowly go up. We are all human beings. We are under pressure, and we are not trained for the ethical practices, especially I would say, and therefore it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Even I have also seen that when this Shodha Ganga, there are many theses they are digitized and they are kept. Some of the universities still it is going on. So that number is also this is one is this is that number also, because some of the university research is still it is not they put on the digitized format, uploaded on the Shodha Ganga.
It's terrible. It's
And
terrible.
plagiarism is a major problem. No, because now the last 5-6 years now everybody is very serious about the research, and plagiarism become a very essential part for the research activity. And now also that we ask for the students when they submit for their thesis, I ask my student to get the plagiarism check and attach with the thesis before submission, along with the submission to the university.
True, but then the plagiarism checkers, those softwares are not foolproof, especially for the areas like linguistics, literature. They just can't. And then the regional.
I fully agree.
Yes, so it is good for the sciences, very good for the sciences, and good for the social sciences. But there are limitations of those. It is what I would say is this, that I mean the education, that's the hammering people that what is good is most essential. That becomes the primary response. The programs like this, they in every class at the undergraduate level itself, it is to be. I always sir, can I take some time?
Yes, sir, please.
I'm running out of time. I always see in Goa, the school children are given a project. Okay, they should do some project, and those school children will go to the library. They will photocopy something on the topic. They will not bother to read it themselves. They will paste it on a paper and they will submit it in the school. So what kind of culture are we bringing in? That is where the level that we are starting with. So we should I mean, it is to be at the grassroots level itself. The people are to be.
Here one example to you, because
you said something, sir.
No, but now because our university, we have gone for Turnitin, and we are also looking for other software also. But now this Turnitin software also is being utilized by the school. That is required. The cultivation of the habit to the such type of thing is required from the school. Okay, that yes, we have cited an example now about their project and other things. So now this need to be cultivated when they go for the college or they go for the research or the higher education. Then they will become very serious. So cultivation of this plagiarism and then not to copy or have their own thought process and put ideas in the writing. That is important. So it will cultivate the future good research. That is my opinion. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, yes, that's very
Hello.
simple. Thank you. Thanks for your
Hello.
comments, sir.
Hello.
Presentation of Dr. Murari sir has been completely telecasted at YouTube channel, but there are still no questions from participants.
Hello. Sir, I have to speak something. Sir has shown that graph of the retraction watch. Sir, actually one paper is published in Scientometric Journal, and that the findings of that paper reveal that in 2021, most of the Indian papers retracted, it is related to the COVID-19, right? So the COVID-19 publications were increased during the period from 2020 to 2021, and still it is going on. And most of these publications, retracted publications available on the retraction watch database. The studies also conducted with retraction watch database, and these publications are related to COVID-19. Even some of the publications available at this preprint servers like medRxiv, bioRxiv, and SS7, those papers are also retracted. So that study is published in Scientometric Journal, and the study says that the most of the Indian papers retracted. So it is related to COVID-19. So I think that is maybe one of the reason. Not 100% sure that, but it is, I think, one of the reason. So why the retraction is increased.
I see. Okay. I was unaware of this paper. I do look into this Scientometrics, but then
I also come across.
Yes,
I also come across all these things. Okay.
I see.
Okay,
That's
Dr. Sachin,
interesting.
thank you. Very good.
Sangram, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Thorat, sir. On behalf of the Department of Library and Information Science and Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, I extend my deep sense of gratitude towards Dr. Murari Tapasvi, sir. And I request to you, sir, if it is possible, you will join again with us at the end of the program. Now, I request Dr.
I'll sincerely.
Yes, sir.
What time the program would end?
What, sir?
What time the program ends?
2:30, sir.
So second session will start from 12:40 to 1:45. So up to 1:45 you can join if possible.
Yes. Yeah, I would be. I would be there. Sure. Yes.
Sir, please stop your screen sharing, sir.
Thank you, Murari, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Tapasvi, sir.
Please stop your sharing.
Thanks a lot.
Stop sharing so that another platform will go.
Yes. Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. P.B. Bilawar, sir, to introduce the second resource person of the technical section, Dr. Mahendra N. Jadhav, sir.
Friends, once again, I am with you. A very good afternoon to one and all. With due respect to all dignitaries, I am happy to introduce second session resource person, Dr. Mahendra Jadhav, sir. I am glad to share that he is the alumni of Shivansri Kolhapur. Dr. Jadhav is presently working as librarian at Central Library of IIT Madras, Chennai. Dr. Jadhav has completed his academic and professional qualification like MSc, MLIC from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad, and PhD from Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Dr. Jadhav had more than 28 years of vast working experience as library professionals in various organizations like Indian Institute of Remote Sensing, Dehradun, then Directorate of Wind Science Research, ICAR, Jabalpur, then IIT Bombay, and presently working at IIT Madras, Chennai. He is well acquainted with recent trends in a library and information science. He has major contributions at IIT Bombay, IIT Madras in the areas of library automation, library 3M electronic security systems, RFID, ATD systems, website design, institutional repository, IITM IRINS Scholars Profile and ISO 9001 certification. He has also supported two NDEST consortia activities in the initial stage of IIT Bombay. Dr. Jadhav has vast experience in various library management softwares, digital library, and open source softwares. He is the recipient of the Best Employee Award at IIT Bombay and Directorate of Field Science Research, Jabalpur, for his explanatory library services. He is also a recipient of the Meritorious and Leadership Award at IIT Madras in the year 2020. He is the recipient of Special Library Association ASEAN SciTech Librarian Award in the year 2021. He is a member of various professional societies and associations. He has published many papers, articles in reputed journals, conference proceedings, and book chapters. He has also served as a member of various committees like INDEST Consortia, NMEICT, National Digital Library, NDL, etc. With this brief introduction, I request Dr. Jadhav sir to take a further charge of it. Over to Jadhav sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Bilawar. Thank you for actually nice introduction. Now with this seminar, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Shirke, Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Patil, and Dr. Dhananjay Sutar, in-charge Director of Barrister Balasaheb Khade Knowledge Research Center, and Sachin Kumar Patil, he is the HOD of Department of Library and Information Science, and Dr. Bilawar, Dr. Jadhav, and Dr. Thorat for this whole team, entire team. And actually my earlier speaker, Dr. Murari Tapasvi, documentation officer from NIO Goa, he made my actually job very easy. He covered almost many things that I will not repeat that. And it is my great pleasure to and honor to be a part of this one-day national webinar on research and publication ethics, organized by the Department of Library and Information Science and Barrister Balasaheb Khade Knowledge Research Center, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. I thanks for actually inviting me as a research person. Can you see my screen actually? My
Yes,
screen visible?
Yes, sir.
It is visible.
Yes, Dr. Jadhav, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. This topic I given to me criteria for selecting a journal's publications. See, research has been defined as a systematic investigations, including research development, testing and evaluation designed to develop a contribute of general knowledge. When any research is there, you have to work on that and you have to generate some new knowledge that will actually helpful to society, and that actually from that it get benefit to human society. And successful publications of research bring attention to the scholars and their organizations. Scholars in every country are being pushed to write actually what are they did research, because then only other community and people will know what is research going on. And every university and organization is unique by the specialization, and all have some different to offer the scholars and society. Everybody is not same, because we are all like social science, engineering, medical. There are so many fields, and each and every university is actually masters in that, and they are actually producing research from their actually specialization. But they all have one thing to common. Publish or perish, this phrase initially coined by Kulje in 1932, but now it is becoming harsh reality. Since there is actually, you can say, means when scholars, or maybe you can say for promotions, or maybe any development, publication is one of the important factor, and due to that, there are many actually scholars have to write, and that's why actually it is you can say means they have to write in very good journals, and they have to publish what they did. And why do we publish actually? Means why do we publish? Because there is variety is there actually. The quality of research he or she has conducted, and it should be reliable the result, and improve the quality of research and the article. It will improve. That means if you publish and it will improve, because when you writing or maybe writing the actually means research or maybe doing research or writing any article, you definitely actually means doing the literature survey on that. Actually you may get many ideas actually, who did same work and how you can improve that. You can find in the gap of the research, and you can just means work on that, and then you just improve your research and fill in the gaps and share whatever you research did. Actually you can build upon the early research, and you just means what is research early, what that impacted, and you also can contribute to, and maybe due to your research, maybe many you can say effect of changes will come in society. So that actually means if you want to publish, this is the reason. And the essential component of the peer review journals, as per the Simon Patton Jones, he says actually prime novelty, because when you doing research, that should be something prime. It should not be repeated research. Okay, now the retraction will not come, because if you do repeated research and same research continues, okay, and you publish that, so that way you have something new. Actually, you want to add something to knowledge or maybe society, something it will improve or it may be useful for that. Okay, and impact of research will be on your society or maybe your colleague or maybe in your field. So any scope of audience, those who really means those who are in that area, that will also be for them useful, and definitely they can actually means contribute a better way, and they also improve on their field actually. Why it is important actually to publish? Because see, competition of academic positions in intense, and publishing is used to select those scholars who stand out and separate them in from rest actually. Because see, nowadays everybody wants, because when you saying H index of author, actually university H index or maybe university profile, scholar profile. So because now early it was there in print time, that early years. Okay, he may say I'm having 30-40 journals, 30-40 articles, and it was in print, so nobody bothered whether he had really or not. Okay, but nowadays due to advent of technology, everything is online. He cannot hide that. Okay, so that there is a competition, because when somebody's profile is going high, H index is increased, definitely he also feels that in same field he also want to say something, because he want to maybe you can say academic promotions, or maybe you can say getting funding project, or all these things. Really there is competition to publish that. Okay, because the publishing process is highly competitive. We know that actually means it is very competitive, and to publish in a high quality journals require you to compete against researchers who much have more experience than you. Because see, actually research is going on, or many people working on same area or maybe working in other. So you have to find gap in their research, and then only it is very difficult for you to find gap in their research and to do something new one. Okay, like novelty. So why see, when why journal article are generally have a greater prestige, because generally and merit with the scientific community, because article published in the peer review journals are likely to remain a very important means of distributing research finding, because when there is impact factor, definitely that actually journals or maybe that publication going, people are may respect that, and it may be review, many people review, and that is actually it may increase your value. When you just performing research actually with your original research work, okay, the scholar should focus on high quality research to enable advancement in the field. Like extensive literature review will be helpful. When he just do research, he has to do for many earlier publications, and then he may getting ideas on that, and he just finding challenges in that also that field. When science grows and advance up through the community, knowledge is constantly being challenged, because whenever anything is actually means somebody claim on that, it may not be constant. Something new innovation come, that maybe some that will come on above that. So that is actually is not constant. Something will be revised and chance it will export. It will be expanded. Most scientific researchers have a strong desire to contribute to the advancement of their field and the society, which they can definitely, which is often to their primary reason and for becoming a scientist or researcher. If they do something big, they want actually their field may be excellent. Okay, so that's why that is many researchers or maybe many researchers or scientists, they not working only for individual, but they working for organization, nations, and they just contribute in their field. So they will be recognized as scientists, good scientists, researchers. So we seen actually when publication are there, actually there are many benefits. Actually, there are many benefits, and some of them common benefit. Just I want to tell that understanding the paper publishing process might be crucial for many new authors, but they are benefited. How they benefit? They improve writing skill, because if you write actually write, okay, then definitely you're improving writing skills. Help in knowledge upgradation, addition. So if you just writing or do research something, definitely you just finding gap and something adding in that. Okay, so that's okay. Create a set of knowledge for others, because when you create a new knowledge, something adding in the previous knowledge, definitely that's going to be helpful for society. And appreciate your work. Definitely, if you do something novelty, that will appreciate by the society and maybe your community. And publicity to your work. When you do good things, you publicize that. Okay, like many platform nowadays online is there. Means any social media or maybe so many things here that you can publish through that, and adds value to your organization and safety, so society. See, now these all you can say ranking are there, NIF ranking, many ranking, university ranking. So there is one parameter of publication actually there, okay, means publication, that is one component is there. So definitely in that actually if you getting more score, definitely if you just quartile 1, quartile 2, quartile 4, okay, these are the publication criteria. When you just publish in quartile 1, definitely you get more score. And that way actually it will support your university or maybe organization for ranking in high, okay. That may be one other component, okay. And keeps you alive as a researcher. When you do something new, definitely people will like you, and then maybe you may be in the focus. Definitely you want to do more things on that, then you will be always be in as a live researchers. Motivate other to research, means when you do something actually definitely other also should get benefited and they motivate from your work. So that is there actually. So now you see, when you see actually why you want research, why you want to publish, okay, research is there, benefit of researcher publications, and then there is pre-publication. When you're just writing something, okay, means you doing research, and you want to publish that, you just going to start that, okay. After the rigorous research, scholars go for publications, and it is very crucial for to take decision to select the proper journal for publication due to an advantage of technology in publishing industry. There are many hundreds or thousands journals are in each area. But there are many journals. Okay, you cannot miss actually you cannot count that. Okay, but if you just you can also count that. Okay, and again it is an open access movements. Open access movements and internet also leads to many predatory and fake and clone journals, because due to technology it may be very easy to set up one server or site, and you can just have many software available. They can do the clone. The science, technology, engineering, HSC management field, actually all these are the many journals come up. And many publisher organizations and societies are working on to follow the publication ethics and maintain quality research. So these are the see, one way is going, one way is there are open access predatory journals and all clone journals coming up, but even the other way there are actually some of the societies, some organizations, some of the publishers, they keeping control on that. Actually, they want to monitor, like UGC care list is okay, UGC one of the behind that, okay. Like same thing, other publishers they individually do that, and many organizations, COPE, DOAJ, or maybe like so many things, they just control on that, and they want to follow the ethics, and they want to maintain the quality research. Before publication actually means selection of journals, one of things, subscription. Another thing is actually whether you want to publish your article or maybe subscribe journal or maybe hybrid journal or maybe an open access journals like society journals, that you have to see actually means any renowned publication or society where you want to means publish that actually. And before that, when you preparing manuscript, actually you can just identify the journal scope close to your research area. Then actually when author required to find all details, policy, journals, including copyright, authorship, submission policy, and publishing charges. All these things actually when you writing something actually, then you can just understand that when I'm doing research actually which area my research is there, and then how it is actually means which journal is suitable for me, that you have to see that. See, these are some journal selection criteria. They are actually, see, when the student actually, when a student scholar, or maybe in his, they just writing the actually, you can say, journal article, and they when send actually to the publisher, say, means through online system, because nowadays everything online. The editor when receive editor the journal article, immediately what actually editor is see that actually what is your, he won't read your all, you can say, paper. He'll only read only abstract and actually your title. Then if he feels something, this is actually title and abstract, it's come under my journal scope, and then he will just redirect to the reviewer, and then the process start. Okay, but before that actually means when you have to aims and scope of the journal, you have to clearly understand that actually your means journals finding or maybe research should come under this aims and scope of the journals, because you should not say supposing journals is actually in chemistry, you should not write actually something humanities or other paper in that, you should not send there. Okay, so because the scope is not there. And when you're doing quantitative study or qualitative study, that you have to see whether if the journal is actually means accepting all quantitative research, okay, or maybe study. Don't try to study qualitative, or maybe either or. Okay, both you can just think. On interdisciplinary subject, there are many interdisciplinary subjects are there, but maybe it may be interrelated, but not like actually non-subject. You should not say that actually. And one important journal impact factor. These are actually basically on citations when the users actually cite the article from the journals. Actually, maybe every 2 years is calculated. And the target audience, you have to see actually who is the audience for that. How many means actually scholars, how many community actually research behind the working on that. Okay, so you have to see actually target audience who will be means able to actually read my journals. Okay, and then indexing journals, because definitely you just require that actually somebody should index that journal, even though you have very good journals, but nobody indexing, then there is no use actually. Nobody will read that, because they will not go each and every website, and they will not give a website, and they will see. Because when there is a consolidated databases as a Scopus and Web of Science, these are the very renowned databases are there actually. And then many those who want to literature survey, or maybe those who want to search finding something, they will only use this major databases, then only that should be indexed. And acceptance rejection rate of the journal, when you just go into journal website and see that actually means how the process are there, how many percentage, because most of the science and engineering, almost 80 plus above percentage, there are rejection rate are there. So that way you have to see how much actually journals this one. No, there are actually, when you just means seeing actually there are means there are many publishers or maybe website are there actually, they're just helping the scholars. You cannot say directly to journals, any journals actually, they give one platform. Here you can see there are actually, when you want to submit manuscript actually, these are the widely I take an example. There are many actually, widely I take an example. Here actually you can just submit your article title, and these are the abstract of that actually. Then when you clicking actually that, then you find actually when you clicking on find, because with the backend software actually it will search your your title actually, title or manuscript title, as well as your means abstract. From that actually it will maybe behind that actually there is a machine learning, artificial intelligence. Okay, these are software or your technology work in there, because machine learning basically work on pre-filled data, because they match with some words with that you can say backend, and they will give result actually. They, like you can say SDICS service was providing, basically was matching the profile of the faculty. Same thing actually happening behind this. So when you are submitting the article and abstract, so definitely basically machine learning, deep learning, these are technology those publishers use, and then after that actually they throw the result. So when I submitted actually this, then after that actually when I submitted article title and abstract, so I got actually, these are the so many journals I found. Okay, there are maybe I got 100 result. Okay, but they given actually top these 5 something. Okay, so basically these are the actual relevancy you can see green color there actually, it is 100% relevancy. These actually you can say less than that actually. These are the based on relevancy, or you can say ranking. They give actually journals ranking or maybe relevancy type these journals. These are the journals for suitable for you based on your abstract and you can titles. Okay. So author can think on this actually. They can just write to the means actually editor, submit that, or maybe online they can submit with along with letter. And later, even though actually there is a means when you just submitting, there is an option actually. Do you want to submit in open access? Because open access movement was there actually to just the open access funding and all the open access movement organizations or maybe movement people, they not they are against these pay-one journals, because they just funding an organization, funding agencies, they was not happy with the when the libraries are paying for subscription, or researchers are getting researchers also spending money on the research. Funding body also paying for that, the library also paying for that. So they was against open. These are the closed access. You can say paywall journals, and they just have open access. And then many publishers, many renowned publishers, they support that, and they just with the APC application processing charges, they started that. So there also you can also choose whether you want to in open access or maybe closed access. So that way it is possible, and you can just go there. Okay. So then as soon as you just select that journals, and then maybe you have to register for that, because nowadays there is online everything is there. There is no letter, or maybe you can send through email. When you just register for there, and these are the, when you just register, you just choose the journals here. Okay, you can choose here, and then you submit online your abstract or all titles, all everything is there that you have to submit. And after that, basically when you just submitting, before that you have to follow the guidelines of the author guidelines. Okay, basically author guidelines is publication ethics and what to do actually, means before submitting this journals article in that journal, you have to go through all journals actually guidelines actually, that you have to read carefully, and that you have to follow all these guidelines. Then only it will be, there are chances for accepting, or maybe they may send to back for some revision, or maybe, but it is chances there if you follow all guidelines. So these are actually many journals, Finder or Search site. Actually, there are many publishers like Elsevier is there, okay, like Springer Nature are there, actually Taylor and Francis are there, Sage are there, IEEE is there, Emerald is there, ACS is there, IOP. There are n number of sites are there actually, that I didn't actually, you can say, means listed that, but you will get when you just go into search on the publisher site, and then you just go there. Definitely, they also providing editing service. Along with this, they also providing editing service, because sometimes what actually you have some written in your English is not very good. Okay, when you written in some, your language is very poor. So along with this, actually they will say that actually if your research is unique and novel, but maybe your English is not that much is good. Actually, it may not understand to people what you want to say. So they will just charge for that. Actually, they will give editing services like that. Your like grammar or maybe something technical writing, something they will help you in that. So that way also publisher helping, and this something you have to pay. They may charge something. But many scholars and actually faculty, I seen that they spending the money from their project, because they want actually their article to publish in very good impact, high impact for journals. Then they may get actually feedback, or maybe they may get value for their research. They did that. So this is one of the things that are there. Okay. So another thing is actually there is a, you can say, Web of Science. They just have the journals, master journals list. Okay. So master journals list is there because those are Web of Science. Almost 27, almost 21,400 active, and almost some inactive journals are there. They have almost 27,000 journals covered in that master journals list. If you go to that Web of Science and master journals list, actually you have to only log in there. You can just create your sign in. That is free actually. You just have to sign in. And when you actually, if you see in that, actually these are journals is available in that master journals list or not. Okay. Because when you select any journals for your publication, before that also you can cross check with this list, and check whether this journals is indexed in Web of Science or not. Okay, and another there is Scopus list also there. Okay, here is Scopus is there actually. You can search, these are the, you can say, Web of Science list. Okay, here you can just like I search fuel journal. Okay, fuel journal I search, it is available there. Okay, even the open access journals you can search here. This is one actually Scopus. Even though in Scopus you do not have subscription for Scopus, but if you go to elsewhere and you can create login for that, as you are registered there, and you go there actually, you will get the, you can say, list of the journals all available there in that list actually. You can just download this list, or maybe you can search here. So that you can means both the databases actually, when there is indexing, both are the indexing your journals, and these are the master lists available there. That also you can cross check with that. So maybe sometime what actually there is a publisher, they Scopus and Web of Science, they take the publisher, they index the journals, and maybe after some time they may see that the quality is very low, and those are many journals retracted from that, and they remove actually journals from your that indexing Scopus and Web of Science. That is also possible. Then impact factor is there. Impact factor, then you have to just check impact factor of journals. I check fuel journal. So these are the, you can say, JCR, journal citation report is one of the, you can say, those give authentic impact factor. These are also credibility analytics. They give authentic impact factor. These are the journals cited in the last 2 years on that published journals. So means 2000, you can say, if you want 22 impact factor not available. But 21 you will get actually, because of 19, 20 journals article published and cited that journal in 2021. So that actually impact factor will get from that. And these are all data you can get from that. Another, there is actually impact factor as well as site score is there, because score elsewhere they come with another metrics. Because these are the metrics based on your means author metric, journal metric. These are site score actually, they come with that. And they started that actually like in impact factor 8.8 something is there, but in site score 11.2 is there. Okay. So these are site score, basically they count for 3 years average. Impact factor is 2 years average, publication average, and the site score is 3 years average. Naturally, that's why 3 years average, that's why 11 is there. So these are the very good impact site score is there. So that way also you can cross check in actually like you can say web master journalist or web of science or site score or Scopus. That way you can just find out the journals this one. And even the sign language journals ranking also there actually there you can get journal ranking and you can say like journal ranking, country ranking will get there also you can check. And you see these are the many usually list pop-up windows come there. Because that you have to see many I just search fuel journal it is there one these also pop-up windows coming in Simon ranking. That it will pop up actually they just means list they say hey, this journal is listed UGC care list and all this okay they will pop up you because with the certificate like that. You know, we seen actually means journals how can search journals and how can means their criteria for journals selecting. But actually means there are publication criteria actually what require okay. But even though actually you how you can means go for journals you are seeing criteria. So there are many actually journal criteria guidelines actually developed by COPE. COPE and the DOAJ actually the Open Access Scholarly Publication Association and have collaborated and have identified some principles to transparency of best practices for scholarly publication. So these are the web search for the journal. Suppose actually you just go in Google and you search some journal that should actually list, it should list within 5 years, okay. 5 within 5 top list. It may be because maybe first maybe not be correct, okay. It may mislead, but actually within 5 you may get that journal's website actually it should be there. That way you can just check it authenticity of the journal, okay. And journal website, so that journal website should be available actually, and that it should not be on third party or maybe you can just check that actually and there in the journal website all these your rules, regulations, aim and scope and everything should be statement of it should be about that journals actually leadership credibility everything should be actually all clause should be defined there and journal's name actually it should not be confused because many actually predatory journals or clone journals they use same name, okay. So that also sometimes not actually you may get same name two sites, okay. So in that you can just identify yourself and you can decide that actually which is correct, okay. And editorial board, many of the journals, if you click on editorial board, so you will get only you should get full name, address, and organization actually the author who is editor actually which from organization is affiliated, okay. But many party journals you won't get actually you will get name and only email that is also private email. You won't get details, okay. So that also you have to see. Another peer review process actually the journals really is conducting peer review single review, double blind review or triple blind review actually whether they just conducted or not. And that also you have to see and that should be actually means ownership and management actually these are the ownership management these are renowned publisher society and that you have to see actually means these are the journals from renowned publisher, reputed publisher or society that may be or any organizations, okay. And copyright and licensing policy that should be very clearly stated on the journal website or maybe in the that actually means help page and that guidelines should be as per the they should added that, okay. Research misconduct something actually do anything is happen actually suppose anybody publish and maybe that something happen actually that somebody claim that actually these research already I did and they want to so they should also actually means support it because they should not they should for retraction or maybe identify or maybe what they can actually they can take action on that, okay. And maybe some plagiarism something citation manipulation or data falsification or fabrication somebody just maybe complain that actually and then they may able to retract or maybe they can be supportive so that actually their guidelines should be clearly mentioned there. And publication ethics are all this actually we seen there are already in early lectures you seen that, okay. So that all publication ethics should follow and publishing frequency because maybe some of the publishers there are renowned publishers they will not go more than like you can say monthly or quarterly or maybe biannually or maybe annually or maybe something, okay, because some of the journals we see there is no frequency anytime they can just publish or maybe there is no what you can say there is no another publishing frequency as well as actually number of articles they have to publish in like journals, okay, in issue. Sometimes what actually we just seen many issues they go number of article more than 15 20, okay, maybe 30 40. So that way actually they want to actually they when they charging money for that they want to publish that and they will not see, okay. Archiving actually policy the actual journal really the journal something happen actually tomorrow if you publish that actually then something happen with the journals there is policy actually to keep actually that my content or maybe something they have signed with agreement with a clock or maybe PubMed Hunter or maybe other like okay something they have something like like this revenue sources, because see these are the something revenue business model. Okay, some other publisher and reprint publishing fees they waiver, or maybe they can charge actually like a developing countries, or maybe these are some generally come hybrid models. Okay, hybrid journals. Okay, in hybrid journal what actually 50% or maybe 40% they publish some like you can say like paywall article, or maybe 40-50% they will go for open access. Okay, for that they charging something publication fee, APC article person charges. Okay, and that journal go blind review or maybe double blind, triple blind. Okay, so that journal they for revenue sources are there. And advertisement basically these journals is state their advertising policy. Some journal, okay, like journal of you can say physics something, okay, means physics letter. Okay, in they what actually they do actually some journal article actually publish in their that issue, and they found some actually novelty in the author something to research, and they just find some figure is very renowned. Okay, new figure, so they will offer, or they will say that author actually they will just send later actually author, okay, we want to publish your figure on front page of journal. Okay, you want to add that actually they want to add, you will charge $10 $20 something. Okay, they will just give, okay, if you pay this much, we will actually print this actually your figure in first page of the front page of the journal. Okay, so like that they do ad actually, and direct marketing. So these are the many publisher, leading publisher, they won't hire anybody for marketing, they do their own marketing team is there, they do marketing. Okay, so these are the criteria for evaluation journals. Okay, and now see there are we seen actually beyond paywall, or maybe now there's many author, many actually the open access movement come, and they just started that actually because many open access movement they do not want to pay for same research or maybe some research 2 times. So they come with actually some models actually, some they want to or a preprint post it, or maybe archival, so author can archive in their own website or maybe preprint server. Okay, so that way they come in that actually initially, and then now so after that actually there are open access movement started, and many publishers now they come with that actually, and they also been supporting actually open access charges, but open access publishing journals, and then may charging something APC application processing charge. Okay, but actually then you have to see actually how means what is benefit actually this access for all, increase visibility of your publications, more citation, maybe downloads there, greater control over the integrity and reuse of your work, faster research dissemination, because those who are means those who do not have subscription also they can access that actually, and raise profile of your author, because if you just definitely if you just citing on Google Scholar, if you see generally always any author profile in Google Scholar you may get H index, and I-10 index is more, because actually those are in the scope we can say Web of Science or maybe Scopus, you may get not that much H index, because these are the only those subscribe actually publish subscribe library means author only they access and they just put there, but in Google Scholar because anybody can access and they can cite. Okay, so because those journals not indexed in scope of Web of Science, so that way, so there actually means your H index or maybe your it is less. Okay, minimize duplicate research actually, accelerate research publication innovation. Okay, so these are the advantage of open access publishing. And there are actually many when as per the actually open access movement, and they some publishers come with some policy. Okay, some the route actually they come with route actually green open access actually, gold open access, hybrid model, bronze model. Okay, diamond up. Okay, like green is there actually with embargo or maybe some of the embargo or maybe with some limit actually you can publish, and after some time that may be open to all publishing. Gold open access actually they charging article posting charge. Okay, and these journals are actually going for this may be hybrid or non-hybrid. Okay, but it's going under blind review. Okay, double review, triple review. Okay, and there are charges, APC article posting charges, and that charges are not fixed based on your impact factor or journals or publisher. These are the very to vary. And hybrid model basically these are the it allowing means some open access, some non-open access journals, and that will also to work. Okay, bronze open access also there actually these are the basically means some of the author actually they just allow means publisher allow actually your means publication, or maybe this can be kept on repository or maybe other website that way. And the diamond new open access come because these are the university they supporting a publication, or maybe they are open their scholar they publishing scope open access supporting for publication, on that they made open access. So these are the actually types of open access publishing routes actually. And when you are publishing open access, these are the policy and guidelines are there actually. You can just share for review. You can check actually before publication article sending to the publisher. and then these are the guidelines there actually. What is there actually? How can means publisher work under Creative Commons license? These are the share, like not share, okay, means like commercial, non-commercial purpose actually. These are the all licenses you can use, and any license you can use, and you can share your work. So new paradigm, these are the new actually. Another thing is that actually nowadays these are till open access. It was there actually, means many publishers they are supporting, but now these are the some models actually. Now publishers they come with that actually, because they thought actually means open access they're not getting that much revenue, and they come with transformative journal agreement. Okay, these are they come with actually some some publishers they come with that. Okay, they signing with the agreement, some organization actually, then they signing actually with the transformative means something journals like the journals become within a, you can say some limit actually for open access or this, okay, so that actually that journals actually it will be in within some limit actually. It will become open access because it will be 5%, 10%, like 20%, 30%. These are some content of open access growing, and finally the journals will go under open access. For that actually you have to, your university or maybe your organization have to sign agreement with the publisher, and then you have to pay for that actually. You have to commit that actually this much publication we will commit in your journal, okay. Read and publish actually, these some other publishers commit that read and publish model, and they actually they read actually what happened, they will charge for you for reading, but they will just they will actually publishing actually they will be free. But in that also you have to commit actually, you have to, suppose your organization want to publish in the XYZ journals, publisher actually. Suppose you commit actually in 3 years or 1 year we will publish 30 or maybe 50 articles from our side actually, from university. On that 30 article you have to pay for that actually. Then reading actually they will open the entire content for you to read actually free, and then you have to pay for that. Another actually publish and read actually. Some of the actually publishers they just come with actually, you publish with us and we will give you read free, because they will sign agreement reverse actually. They will just say for publication charges they will just charge for you. They will charge for that lump sum amount, and then they will just type with that actually, and then after that actually whatever you publish there, but you can read freely, like all backwards you can read. So these are the actually 3 models now came actually. This is actually basically Europe countries and means countries, because they gone that. The Planes is one of the actually development is there actually. It was means started in 1920, and it maybe the 3 years it is up to 2021 it is there. So maybe it may be Planes, maybe India go or not, that we do not know, but these are due to Planes actually. Many European country universities they gone for that, entire means nation is getting all access free. Some of the applications actually, Germany this deal with consortium at Wiley. Wiley actually open all 1600 journals to all entire Germany, because actually what happened, Germany and all countries they just sign the agreement with the publishers, okay, like 2000 or maybe dollars or maybe something will give publication charges for you, and this much a number of article will publish from across the universities, and that they commit actually. Then that way what actually they just commit that actually, then the entire Wiley journals they open to all entire Germany that way. And California Digital Library, Cambridge University Press, okay, these are the all examples, because they also come with their, okay, for this to implement this actually, you can say public, these are the models. Now IIT Madras actually one example, we also have some read and publish agreement to Cambridge. So now you see Cambridge actually what happened, any user of my author actually from my IIT Madras, they submit article in the Cambridge journal actually, that email will come to me actually to check actually whether this is your author or you authenticate, and then they will just they given admin login for me, I check that actually, and then actually I will see actually whether this is my author and he is published in the journals, and they approve that, okay. So like here actually librarian is going to play in actually, you can say, important role in future read and publication read model. So that way actually like we just almost we last year or this year almost we 30 plus article we published in this, okay, Cambridge journals. So that way actually it may be many organizations going from India. The same thing actually you can go on, you can just publish, you will be, librarian will be nodal officer for this, and they have to maintain this. And these are the, you can say, publication workflow actually. We've seen that actually when the researcher writing the research work actually preparing manuscript, before many preparing manuscript, that you have to search journals, and then he have to decide actually from various tools and techniques he has to use to find out correct journal. Then he has to submit the manuscript to the authors of the online, and then they will see actually, they will check with that actually database, then they will accept that, And after that, the editor will send to the peer reviewer. Actually, again, he will say any revision he will there. He will again send back to you, author, or maybe or he may reject that actually. And that way, actually, they will take decision on that. If there is a decision is there, accept, revise, revision required, or maybe decline is there. Actually, then it will go to the author directly, and then accepted. Then definitely it will go for actually publication. Okay. So that way, actually, this is workflow, publication workflow is there actually. That way, all the publishers follow almost okay. But these are the only renowned publishers. Those genuine publishers, they follow ethics, and that only they follow. So those are printed journals. Within 24 hours, you can publish your article without any review, without any plagiarism checking, without any actually doing all these things they publish. And predatory fake journals and clone journals, okay, these are the one thing, because when there is open access movement came, so and there are advent of technology, many actually publishers, anybody can set up one website, and they can buy domain, and they can just have domain, and they can just create website. From one room also we can operate multiple journals. Okay, like one example, Hyderabad, actually the Hyderabad one center was there, actually coaching center. They actually means running the one, like these are the journals, so many journals were there. They're running from that actually. I mean, they charging, taking money, and they publishing within a 24 hours. These are the all produced journals we have to see. These are the journals basically. They want only individual, and they accept an article only for payment fee. They do not see actually means your actually future, or maybe your this article and all about you. They will only see how they can get money and how they can just get profit. Okay. And this write only publishing, because they only actually what you write they will publish. Okay, these are the actually their funda. There is no scope for the journals and publishing everything, because there is on that journal there is no scope. So they may list many, we can say many journals. Okay, many subject scope, because they may more than 10-15 actually subject area they cover there. Do you think that actually any one journals actually you have to, when you just putting more than 10 or 15 subject area, how many reviewer you want? Okay, because that is not good actually. That's why these actually they, without doing, they just accepting, not following publication ethics. That is one thing. And use identical journal name from a renowned publisher. So many journals actually publish, many journals, these journals, they whatever they clone journals, basically they use same name. And same name actually that publisher, when you just writing your CV, you sending somebody actually these are my publication. Okay, because see, these are the publication. When those want to cross check, he will only see journal's name, and he will type that journal's name, copy journal's name, and type in Scopus or Web of Science. Okay, and that he may find actually journal's name is there, but he will not actually, when you writing in the your CV, in that you will not write ISBN number. Okay, but those who checking that, he will check actually in Web of Science or maybe like Scopus. Then this journal is covered there. Then he may think, oh, this is journal is covered there. He may give score that. Okay, like mark when you applying, or maybe some promotion, or maybe applying any post. So that way, when the screening committee, or maybe they mislead, because they mislead these all names, same name. And you can find out these are the BL list of predatory journals on the reproducibility journals. So home is there. Think check attend. Okay, think check attend one of the organizations. They what actually they also this maintain the website actually. There you can these are also conference. Okay, many conference, fake conference coming. They may say actually you just pay this much money, we'll publish. Okay, they may charge you and they publish, and they may say these are the all we index and everything Scopus and here on the index. Okay, they may claim. So that is also actually means you can check with this website and you can available. Okay. Now these are the what they claim actually. They claim fake indexing database. Okay. They may say we have Scopus index, Web of Science index, or maybe SciMag or ranking, or so many things, Scopus, or maybe EBSCO or Procast. These are the actual database we index journals. And they will only put name of the anything. Okay. They will not put full name. Okay. Like X Wang something Chang, okay, like that, because they will not give their full email address of organization. Okay, they will give Gmail, Yahoo private email address. If you go to the editor board, you will not get anything about their details. Okay, and fake impact factor they will write in there. Okay, how they getting we do not know, but they will write that. Okay. And fast location, they may actually what happens, suppose these are the journals in Netherlands or maybe something there. It may be in, you can see Chennai or maybe Hyderabad. Okay, but they may say these journals is publishing from the Netherlands or maybe somewhere from anywhere. Okay, and then use fast logo, because they just copy and pasting fast logo and they putting on that. Even the uneven publishing frequency, no limit for article issue. So that already actually they do not have any like quarterly or maybe monthly or maybe bi-weekly journal, but anytime they may publish, because some of the actually scholars or maybe researchers, they want to something submit their review committee actually, suppose they want to review their submission, before that they want to some publication. During that time also you may see many journals or maybe they accept it, and that they may show they're okay. And short-term publication time, because within the 1 day, 2 day, or maybe you can say within 24 hours, okay, if you submit and you pay money within 24 hours, your journals will be available on website, okay. So that is actually all these things they claim, okay. Example, actually, these are the one author research journal. This is one of the journals that actually, this may also, they claiming it is UGC website link, okay. But these journals also means available in the Scopus also. When I click, actually this Scopus is there actually, but Scopus, see that ISB and this ISB is not matching, okay. These are the journals actually is from Italy, but that is from actually author is from, they saying that actually from other country. The IBM journals, you can see IBM journals, what they saying actually here. Within actually you can say copyright form is there actually, all these are the actually they given Gmail is there, okay. See, Gmail is there actually, they given Gmail actually in contact, okay, all these things there. This submit Gmail, it is okay, because when they say usually approval is okay, but when you check the actually sometimes it may be wrong also. This impact factor giving 6.1. So this you have to see. See here you see this journal actually, it is University of Ligue. That is actually you can say Belgium something there, okay. This journals, and this is book series, not journal, okay. They claiming that actually here this is journals, okay. But when you click here, this is saying books. This is book series, okay. This index is Scopus, but that is same name, but that is a book series, not journals. And they have other impact factors. These also journals actually, these are the journals, but you see these are the actually, these are the this is actually this image they copy from the Scopus and paste here in their journals website, okay. They paste here, and when you click on actually, if you see the journals in the Scopus, actually if you go there, you will get actually these are the Chinese journal. Basically you will get Chinese journals, not that journal, okay. So this name, okay. So this name is there actually, this is actually this name, this is actually Gmail is coming here, and you see here, here is a Chinese journal, because basically all these clone and fake journals coming from those are the non-English countries, because they have because nobody goes to their local language, and nobody knows that Belgium or other language, so many countries language, Chinese language. Journals are from there, okay. So now these are the Gotia journals. You see, within 24 hours they will publish your article, okay. These are the articles they will publish, okay. They saying, because this image they copy from Scopus and they paste it, okay. So these are, and again they claiming this is UGC approved, because they want to attract Indian users, okay, Indian authors. So that way these are there. And now you see, when you going for this actually, you can say you going for actually clone journal. This is actually you can say journal is Gotia, but there are subtitle is there, okay. There is subtitle. And this is actually you can say journals is from actually agricultural biology. So that scope was different, okay. This scope is, these are the scope is different, okay. When you click here actually, when you click here, then you will go there actually online. If I show that, okay, it will get more scope. Even though actually if I go to Scopus actually, then you can just download the journals. Those are the journals, the inactive, and they discontinued from the Scopus. That also, if you have login, you can go and you can download there, okay. You can see these are the journals. This is under radar in the red this font is showing, because this radar means these journals under scanner, okay. They may actually see 2-3 years and they will remove that journal, okay, because these are the publication concern, okay. Some of journals they will see publishing the radar. Now these are the another I list. This is source Scopus. This is there actually. This is you can say discounted list I shown earlier, okay. And these are the journals they inactive, because they remove from their website, because those are the all fake journals. Because they also review some journals, and they quarterly or maybe monthly they remove some journals, and this is Scopus. This is there, and they can remove from that. Who is responsible for ethics? Okay, now we see actually all journals, how to find journals, how to publish and where to publish, okay. And all these open tutorial journals, this we seen all many things we seen, okay. And then now who is responsible for, even though means actually if you not follow that, actually who is responsible for ethics, okay. All stakeholders like author or reviewers, okay, if they do not follow that ethics, actually institution, organization, okay, agencies funding, because many funding agencies they fund, but they will not actually insist that actually you should just publish in such journal, okay. They only want something, because they many funding agencies only want report, okay. They want report from the author. If they publishing something, such a journal, they will not cross check that. Okay, so they also respond for the game. And publisher and editor. Okay, basically these are the editors. They won't actually see these are the all what they follow ethics actually. Being an author actually get credit, but almost you are responsible for an author who has made substantial contribution and intelligent contribution to the publisher study, because he is getting only credit, but anything goes wrong, he will also be punished. Okay, so that you have to see an author is getting only punished that. No, author do some what to do, don't do. Okay, means see, these are all these things actually. Dr. Tapasvi covered that actually. But even the first author should take credit actually. He should conduct research actually. He can supervise analyze data and made presentation. Co-author should also contribute equally in that actually. They can reviewer comments positive, because suppose any reviewer actually give comment positive, think positive actually, then reply within time frame and deadline before you. Otherwise, what actually if you not actually means taking seriously, then again you take delay. Then again, if you send that comment, then again you will be in queue, because publishers have a lot of queue. They will not just bypass queue and they will just means actually what you can say publish other. They will take other work and then your publishing will delay. And give credit to the author whose work you have cited actually. These are the actually you can say citation style you have to use properly. You have to any, because as per the publisher copyright or maybe publisher policy, you have to use any different citation style. For that actually you can just use any reference manager tool, because that with the help of that you can just create easily citation style. And maybe you do not send many at a time the same article to more than one journals. These are the actually author can do that actually. And these you can say don't do means ghost author. Ghost author means he is on behalf of you writing something scientific, and gift author. Gift author already Dr. Tapasvi told. Fabrication, falsification, plagiarism. All these things actually peer manipulation, salami slicing, and conflict of interest. So all these things actually you should not do actually. Mean don't do this actually in your means if you want to really want to publish very good, you can say article research in that. Okay. Reason for delaying publication. Okay, reason for delaying publication. Basically, this actually when you see because publishers actually most of the renowned publishers it maybe take time, because they have very few, they have many everybody want to you can say publish in their respective journals. That's why they may be peer review, because there is a blind triple peer review there, because one reviewer giving comment, other not giving. Okay, so that may be class. Okay, typesetters, because many things actually what happened when you just submitting the article that is not coming under their actually proper typesetting template. They said that as per the template, because maybe many people they use latex, maybe Springer or all they use latex typesetting mathematical journals. Okay, in that they use latex typesetting. Okay, so formatting style, all these things that you have to follow that guidelines, then only it will easy for them. Okay, a poorly written manuscript, because many of them your English is not good. Okay, then they just want to, because they may ask you go for editing service. If you have money you can pay and you can use their servicing for your you can say actually write up or maybe improve the write up. And copyright clause, because sometimes what actually you just means copy something figure or maybe from any other chart or table. Okay, from other publisher or maybe other research. Okay, papers. And then actually understand until you just taking actually copyright permission from the author, then only they will publish. Okay, if you not submit copyright clause from the author, then your publication will be delayed. And paper keywords. Okay, means the proper keywords will be there, because then only it will be keyword will be there indexing, and then that journals will be searched and your paper will be searched that way. So that may also help for that. Okay. And another your English actually, whether you may be think actually, suppose you submitting in British or maybe that European English, that they follow British English. Okay, we should not use American English. So maybe like color or something spelling. These are the things you have to see which country using. Okay, and copywriting work for before the submission, that you can as per the you if you have money or maybe you funding is there. Okay, you can use that to miss actually properly that as per their this one. Editing service offered by editor publisher that you can take. Reviewer perspective. Sometimes what I say, reviewer may not like this. Okay, that may think this may be not proper. Okay, other reviewer like. Okay, so that may also conflict is come and it may delay for publication. Okay, not come under journal scope. So maybe some journals may be like that they have specific subject. Okay, like chemistry, physics, something physical chemistry or something. Okay, but you just want to something biology there. Okay, if biology with chemistry something there, then they may accept, but pure biology they may not accept. Okay, reference style not properly, because as per the professor the journal's guideline, you have to follow that. That if you not follow, it may delay. Now conclusion, actually there are many sources, resources are available to cross-check the correct journals before publishing, submitting manuscript. Follow the proper guidelines up and follow the ethics code as per the COPE. And researchers should follow publication ethics so that it can be avoided for rejection and revision. Okay, double R. Okay, it may rejection and revision. It may be avoid that actually. And finally, publish an authentic and original journal to escape retraction of article from the journals. It may actually, it may be actually, it will damage your name or maybe organization, or maybe journals may blacklist you. Maybe your organization, maybe funding agency will not give funding to you. So that may, it may be impact on your future career or maybe research. So that way actually it may, you can say, harm you. Okay. So with this actually I thanks to actually these references, and with this I thanks to Shivaji University, Dr. Dhananjay Sutar and Dr. actually Patil and all the entire team for giving me an opportunity for publishing with my presenting before you. These are the real dears from IIT Madras campus. Okay, so these you can see actually live here on campus. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Your precious view and thoughts shared by you on the criteria for selecting a journal for publication is needed for the present day research student, and you have touched all the important aspects related with it. Thank you for your valuable guidance. Now the session is open for discussion. I request Dr. S.V. Thoras sir to coordinate question and answer session. Dr. S.V. Thoras sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Good afternoon, Mahendra sir.
Good afternoon.
There is one question.
Okay.
See, that everyone now wants to obtain more and more citations.
Yeah.
And our education system is centered with the Gazette and GRs published by UGC, etc.
Okay.
So everyone wants more citations in least publications. So question is whether to publish with a same publisher, publish with same journal title, or publish with variety of publishers and several titles. So what will help to get more citations?
See, actually, you have to see first your audience, okay? Because aim and scope are, we already mentioned that actually. If you know your audience, okay, means you just see actually which journals actually people are citing more. If you just means if your aim and scope is very clear actually, then you know from this subject actually these are the only audience there, and definitely citation will not increase within one day or maybe within some short of time. Okay. So generally it will increase that actually, but you have to work on that. Means actually your research, and you see actually these are the audience who are there. Then only definitely it will be increased citation. Or maybe some of the actually see Chinese most of the reviewer, okay, Chinese we seen. They actually what happened when they review that they give comment actually you cite these journals, you cite this article, okay. But they want to actually favor their editor, okay, their colleagues, okay. So like that, some editor or maybe you can say reviewer, they say that actually why not cite this actually journal, okay. So that way also these are the unethical practice happening. But if as a layman researcher actually, if he just want to means increase his own citation, he can stick with some of the specific journals or maybe some of the group of journals or maybe some of the group of you can say working people with them, and that way only it will increase citation. Because see, when you do renowned or maybe novelty research, definitely it is going to increase citation. Okay, so that there is no need for to ask somebody to cite my paper. Okay, that is there. Yeah.
Thank you. Another question is, each and every publisher has different writing styles, methods, and author guidelines. So is there any resource which will help to group the same styles or that kind of information. If I write one article, so that guidelines are same with the other publishers.
No, actually, there is overlap one software, the overlap. Okay. Overlap in there, actually, if you just go with that, there are many templates actually. Means all the publishers, actually, renowned publishers, there is a template for them. Okay. If your Word file, if you submit there, actually, that as per the template, they will convert that, okay, automatically. So that may actually some of the actually scholar using that, some they charge actually the organization level also they okay. And each and every publisher also they offering the actually editing services, that also if you have funding or maybe some money available, that also you can use. But overlap is there, that I know that actually we are substituting for that, because like engineering, science and all, they are different like IEEE side, like ACS and all, you can say APA, all there are many sites. Because mathematical journals basically they also latex and all these things they're using scripting language. So that way overlap is one of the, I know that this software there, so that may take care of all these each and every publisher means listed there, that yeah.
Basically for the social science,
Dr. May I add here?
Dr.
Ah.
Mahendra, basically for the social science, no, science and technology, there are many templates are available.
See, social science actually then APA style is 99%.
And like you told about latex and orally also they are having. But
Yeah,
in
then
case of the science,
using Mendeley or maybe any software.
that everybody
Hello, sir.
Medley.
I think there are COPE guidelines are there. COPA COPE guidelines are there, which can use the details about the what is the manuscript writing. It can be they prepared a separate manuals for that. It can be available on the COPE.
Manual, they made template also you can follow template there actually. In Word file, if you just download template, you can type there it automatic font, heading font 14, like sub font 12, or table, all these things that is there, because means if you just only read properly guidelines of the article writing before the actually journal website, then maybe that you will solve the problem of the means 20% problem solve. Okay, then you have to just follow their guidelines. Yeah.
Sir, another question is, sometimes some professionals needs to publish some backdated articles. It may be their need. Is there any platform supporting this kind of method of publication?
Backdated article publishing not possible actually, but preprint you can put, okay. Preprint you can put and claim there actually. I mean, these days actually I have
Sir,
just
actually it is
yeah.
for the break of research ethics, no?
No, actually means before submission you can put there. Actually means if you putting actually preprint server, okay, like this Los Alamos archive, okay, like physics review, okay, many things are there, okay. Then actually means on your actually there are many, like you can say these are the many publisher reviewer, okay, they can see there, okay. And from there actually many publisher reviewer, if they like your article, they just ask you submit in your journals, okay. Like same archive, all many archives come, okay, they just go through that. Like physics one or computer science was there, because in that they can claim there. On this day I just put my research on that, they can claim. Okay, that only way means backdated. Okay, but on publishing, always it will take 1 or 2 years in a good papers publishing. Okay, that is there. Yeah.
Sir, which is the UGC listed two basic journals for the basic research students or LIS?
Mahendra sir.
Yes.
Please stop your screen sharing, please.
1 minute actually. Okay.
It's okay. It's okay now.
Sir, repeat please.
Yes. I did.
Sir, repeat please. Question.
Sir. As an expert point of view, which is the two basic journals to publish research articles?
See, actually, basic journals means actually when you going to publish anything, that you have to see scope. Okay, like basic means you are not going to write about like the library science, what is library science theoretical. Something you want to, something novelty, something when you're writing a research, something you want to find out. Basically, you are based on your finding or maybe your aim scope. Okay, that only you can see that journals, and then only you can match with that. Okay, like basic means you cannot write with anything and you publish. Okay, then you can say to Proprietary journals are there, they can publish anything you want. Like that only it will be like that.
I think Dr. Tapasya sir has joined also. Mahendra sir, my question is that regarding this UGC care list, as you know, it can be grouped into Group A, Group 1 and Group 2, and there are different kinds of citations are there. I think the newly established, that is called as the ESCI, that is stands for Emerging Source Citation Index. These journals can be a part of UGC care list?
Yeah, actually, not all, actually, okay, not all, I can say, not all.
Dr. Tapasya sir will highlight on that issue, I think.
Can I speak on this?
Yeah, sure.
So, emerging source
yeah.
citation index is a part of UGC care list or not?
Emerging sources citation index journals are not part of the UGC care list. Please be careful. However, there are some journals which are in the emerging sources citation index, which are in the Scopus list. So by being them in the Scopus list, they are in the UGC care. But emerging sources citation index is not a part of UGC care list. Please be sure about it. If that particular journal is not appearing in the Scopus, please don't venture to publish in that journal. You will be under problem. Lose your marks.
Exactly.
That's it. Can I make some comments?
Yes, sir, please.
It was nice to listen to Dr. Jadhav. He had one thing that his slide on the who is responsible for ethics. That is what his one of the slides said it. And then he said that yes, everyone, right from the author to the publisher and so on and so forth. But yes, we are all responsible. I mean, that's the civilized society together, isn't it? But the sufferers are authors in this game. The person who do not, even if suppose the publisher is not following ethics, the sufferer is author, not the publisher. Publisher is he got his money, he got the article published there, so he doesn't care now you. But then the author has to make his career progression, and there he suffers a lot. And there, that's something the author has to be most careful. That's what I wanted to make a note.
That's why, sir, he getting credit also. And if he do something wrong, then he also getting, you can say, bad name also there. Na? Both things are there.
That's why the author has to have the quality research, no? That is
yes.
Quality research. When any author is writing any research article, he should have some parameters he should have, which have been accepted by universally. So there will not be any problem for the author. This is my opinion for that. So once the author is or research is writing his article, he should be very careful, and he should have his own parameters which are the which have the parameters accepted universally. So I think sir told about this thing. Definitely, sir, authors are the sufferer because publishers are getting their money. But then authors, because now that under class, the faculty has to have their certain things, complete the points, or they have in the internal promotions. So they have to put some articles. They have to publish some articles, definitely. So one has to be very careful about it.
So that's why some
basically, I'm researcher. Researcher has to be very careful. Now, PhD students, no, those who submit their theses, so they have to be very careful while they're citing, where they're putting the citations, collecting the information, literature review. They have to be very careful. Thank you.
Sir, another observation is in this system, publications from UGC care listed is considered, but there is no consideration about citations received from non-care listed journals. While asking about citation, how many citations and what is impact factor is plain simply asked. But about publications, it is usually asked about that how many articles are from UGC care listed.
Now, one more addition that I want to make is that if you want to publish your articles in the journals where you wish to get more citations, the first very important thing is that your research must be applied one. This is the first one thing. Second important thing is that whatever the objectives those have been mentioned by you in the article, compliance of objectives has to be given in that particular research paper. And third very important thing is that whatever the hypotheses those have been given in that particular paper, many times the researchers, they simply rely on percentages and averages. But it is expected that whatever the parametric and non-parametric methods for hypothesis testing are there, those have to be given in the paper, and you have to mention whether the null and alternative hypothesis has been accepted or rejected. If these three core components you are going to include in your research paper, I think your research paper is going to be accepted by all the publishers. So that these three very important core elements are there, that the new researchers, they are not aware about this. They go on just simply writing a theoretical article that will not be accepted by any of the renowned journal. As Tapasvi sir has mentioned, that the journal you are going to publish, which is to be considered on Scopus database. So these are the databases which are universally accepted. So the quality of the research you have to ensure at the time of writing your research article, and these things have to be considered by all the researchers. So this is my first opinion related to that. Okay, thank you.
Now there are no more questions from the participants.
Yes.
Yes, Tapasvi sir is willing to ask, say something.
Can I make some additions to what Dr. Jadhav said?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, sure, sir.
Yeah, but then I would like to share my slide. There are, I mean, these international databases are also not greatly reliable. That is terrible. And have to be extremely careful about it. And that's what I just would like to hint you. I'll just show you a couple of slides. One moment.
Thank you very much. I am having another meeting, so I am leaving. Thank you very much for everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Here is a. Thank you, sir. I'm just good. Yeah, here is a slide. Say, for example, we say that international database, Scopus, wonderful database, etc., quality journals, and all that. Now, if the journal on the Scopus is alive, it shows something like this: Indian Spine Journal, for example, which is coverage years are from 2018 to present. When we say to present, means we say that yes, the journal is still continued. Okay. Now, you see the second example here: International Journal of Early Childhood Special. Now it says 2009 to present. This coverage discontinued in Scopus. I don't know what does that mean. Then I do the spreadsheet of the, and it says that this journal is no more covered; it's inactive. You know, and this is something extremely ask they are Professor Dr. Jadhav, if you are subscribing to Scopus, you ask these questions to them. They should be answerable. Here is another journal, Journal of Indian Mathematical Society. Now it is the coverage year is 2013 to 21. So that means this journal is there is called discontinued from. But then when you go to the spreadsheet, it shows it is active. Now I don't understand what this means. See, in one case, it is continued, and then it said discontinued. On the other case, it says that it is only up to this year, and then it says it is active. I really don't understand what is this. This is one should be extremely careful while going to the Scopus. What I feel that when you select a journal, even from Scopus, check the history of the journal. How good the journal is progressing over a period of years. And if it is stably progressing, then only you consider, the author should consider publishing that journal as such. Right? This is my one comment. I would like to share very recently I came across. Okay, let me, before I go to that, since this slide has come in. Okay, here is there was a question asked. I think it's Professor Thorat asked a question that will your citations number increase if you publish in one journal? And again, I would say that my answer to that would be no, it is not necessarily, but you would be risking of discontinuing that journal. Say, for example, here, Library, Philosophy and Practice. It was said it is a Scopus journal, and but then now it says that the coverage is from 98 to 21. It says here, but then it doesn't write here that the coverage discontinued. And the spreadsheet, it says that it is what? Now, this particular author, Rupak Chakravarti, has published around 23 articles in this journal in a period of 3 years, 2020 to 2022. In 3 years, 23 articles have been published by this author. And if Scopus decided to discontinue this journal, though they have not written here, and then the spreadsheet still says that it is active, then the whole career of Rupak Chakravarti is at stake. So I would say, please don't have any favorite journal as such for yourself. Spread. And we spread our money, isn't it? We spread our money in different mutual funds. We don't keep money in one place, one kitty. So is the case. The research publications for a researcher is nothing but money, and then it is spread. That's going to you in your career. That's something that I just last week I myself puzzled. My colleague asked me a question that which of these, there are two websites, cboldreport.net and cboldreport.org. Okay, and both these websites are claiming that the other website is a fake website. It's a clone website. There's a Seabold report is in the Scopus list. Now, what should the authors do? I was so puzzled. I myself was so puzzled with this, and then I was, in fact, unable to give my conclusion on this. What I did is this, that I looked for their IPs that from these websites, from which I look up. And then both these websites, I mean, though the design doesn't show that they're from India, but the addresses show that they are from United States, but their websites indicated that they are from India. And that's funny. Acha. Then finally, I was wondering what to do with, how do I take a decision on this? Which website is real and which website is clone? I again went to the Scopus, and then what it looked is the Seabold report. Okay, it is still there in the Scopus list, but it is a trade journal. And I'm not sure that whether trade journal will invite articles from researchers. It's a trade journal has different practices than a research journal. Am I right? And that's why finally I concluded that both these journals are the clone journals. Both these websites are clone journals. The trade, there is, see, Scopus also has a practice to give a link to the website. And as it has not given a link to the website, it indicates straightway that this is only a print journal. It may not be a journal that's available on the web platform. So finally, what I would like to say, the responsibility rests with the authors. The authors have to be extremely vigilant. Every day, something or other new things are coming up. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult to say any individual whether this is a predatory journal or a clone journal and so on and so forth. It's terrible. It's terrible. We are really going in through to a big turmoil.
Thank you, sir. Sangram.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Thorat, sir. Participant, kindly note that after the vote of thanks, feedback link will be provided in the YouTube chat box as well as on the Telegram link. You are requested to give your precious feedback. Without your feedback, the e-certificate will not be generated. Now, at the last, I request Dr. R.D. Khamkar, sir, Senior Library Assistant, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, to extend vote of thanks for this national webinar. Dr. R.D. Khamkar, sir.
May I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dear all, good afternoon, all of you, dear participants. I'm here to express vote of thanks for one-day national webinar on research and publications EC. At the outset, I am very much thankful to Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor D.T. Shirke sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor Professor P.S. Patil sir, Acting Registrar Dr. V.N. Shinde sir, Sri A.B. Chowle sir, Finance and Account Officer, their administrative support to carry out this national webinar. I am thankful to Professor D.T. Shirke sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, for his inaugural speech in the inaugural program. I also express my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. P.S. Patil sir, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, for their motivational speech. I express my heartiest thanks to resource persons for all the sessions, Dr. Murli Tapasvi, Documentation Officer, CSRI, National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, and Dr. Mahendra Jadhav sir, Librarian, Central Library, IIT Chennai, for their valuable guidance and interaction with the participants. I also thankful to Dr. H.S. Vaidande sir, who joined a webinar first to last. I am thankful Dr. D.B. Sutar sir and Dr. S.B. Patil sir, conveners of this webinar, Dr. P.V. Bilawar, Deputy Librarian, and Dr. S.B. Thorat, Assistant Librarian, for Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center, and for his support and efforts for online registration and feedback from participants, and for the hosting of the webinar successfully. Also, I am thankful to Dr. Y.G. Jadhav sir, Assistant Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Shivaji University, Kolhapur. Also, all the senior library assistants, Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Knowledge Resource Center. I also thankful to Sri Kalyan Devrukar, Network Administrator, Master Ratnadeep, and Mrs. Kiledar Madam for their technical support. I am also thankful to Dr. Alok Jatradkar, PRO, for live streaming on Shiva Varta and YouTube. I am also thankful to Mr. Uday Shinde, Senior Assistant, for carrying an administrative correspondence and sanctions. Thanks to all Department of Library and Information Science, students, staff, and Barrister Balasaheb Khardekar Library, all staff, and for their supports, make this webinar a success for us. Also, I am thankful to Mr. Sangram Kiledar for good anchoring Lastly, I express my thanks to all the participants because of whose attendance and interaction this webinar is a grand success for us. Once again, I thank once and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Khamkar sir. Once again, I thank one and all, and I declare that the webinar is over. Have a nice day to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Tapasvi sir, Jadhav sir.
Jadhav sir,
very
thank
much
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Tapasvi sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jadhav sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
We will have communication after that.
Yeah, sure.
I will call you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sure.
sir.
Have a nice day to you all.